If you were any better, there'd be two of you.
This week on isletunes, open your PEI music scene textbooks by way of an in-depth chat with musician and recording studio rockstar John Matthews, who takes us through his long record of album making here on the island. Use ready, PEI. Let's get her done! How's she going, Prince Edward Island? I am your host, Adam Michael James, and you are listening to the June 12th, 2026 episode of the Music PEI Award-nominated isletunes. Holy friggin' noli, do I have something special in store for y'all. See, ordinarily I do this show from the iletunes studios, otherwise known as my basement. For real, I just do the interviews there. But everything else pretty much gets created from my couch. So for me to, well, stand up and, also make the trip to make an episode, that's excruciatingly rare. But my actually having to burn some calories to make this show is so gonna be worth it. But first, I gotta tell you about another show that is also gonna be worth it. isletunes is having its Season 3 finale live show at the Trailside June 23rd, and it's going to be, you just have not seen a combination of artists together in one venue at the same time like this. I'm talking about Richard Wood, Indigenous rapper Jay Diss, Karen Pyra from Aging Disgracefully, LeFunk the Souche guitarist, Nico Romero, bilingual vocalist Paula Arsenault, and of course, Black history expert Scott Parsons, all together. Not on stage at the same time, but, performing. I will interview them between sets. And best of all, portion of the proceeds will go to benefit democracy. It'll be going to the Cooper Institute. They're a local organization which has advocated for democracy and human rights here on the island for over 40 years. And the rest of the money is going to go to the artists. AMJ doesn't get anything, but that's the kind of guy I am. So anyways, please get your tickets. What is it now? Trailside.ca or 902-367-3311. Of course, the ticket links are all over my social media. Make sure to get your tickets in advance because that helps the algorithms and whatnot, and Trailside's algorithms like that. So do that. In the meantime, I have migrated all the way out to Emmyvale. Is that where we are?
We are in Emmyvale, Prince Edward Island, the rolling hills.
This is where
Emmyvale.
This is where they make the Emmys.
Yes.
More specifically, I'm currently seated at the Sound Mill, the recording empire and second, maybe first home of John Matthews. And if his name doesn't make your ear ring in recognition between his 2 decades of helping others make albums and, of course, jamming out on stage, then you've certainly heard his work because said name is in liner notes galore around here. Joining me for this very special edition of isletunes, as I said, none other than John Matthews. I really ought to proofread before I start recording. John, I'm so grateful to you for coming on the show and for letting me hang out here at the Sound Mill to talk about sound, yours.
It's wonderful to welcome you, and I want to say, first of all, thanks for wearing pants for the show. Normally you're at home in your basement, probably maybe not so much wearing pants, but I appreciate that you did put on some pants today.
I
Thank
say
you.
Nothing, I know nothing. If you remember that.
And secondly, it's great to have you here. It's really, really a pleasure to welcome you to the space here. This is where, we normally make the music. So you're immersed in PEI music by being in this room.
Absolutely.
The control room of the studio.
I love this studio. I love the walls.
Yeah.
What color is that? It's like a burnt orange.
It's I think depending on the lighting, it's kind of a dark reddy, orangey situation. Got some like beige sound panels and clouds hanging up everywhere.
I like it.
I'm all about the vibe. I'm all about lighting. I like to have good lighting. As you can see, there's like 7 sources of lighting.
I love
in this room
lights.
alone.
I love lights.
I enjoy lighting a lot.
You got some Das Blinken lights over there.
I got blinky ones. I got colored ones. I've got hipster ones like that Edison bulb up there. Yeah, many.
Oh yeah.
Good lighting is an important part of making records. That's something I've learned over the years. You got to make the artists comfortable. You got to make musicians comfortable, and myself too.
That's true.
Good lighting, very important.
Love the lighting. Love the studio. How long have you been in this particular studio?
This space I started building in 2011. Prior to being out here in Emmyvale, I was in downtown Charlottetown on Euston Street. In an old house, 130-year-old house. And
as you do.
As one does, and as most people that start in the recording world, my studio started in a bedroom. And then that got too small to house everything, so it turned into like my dining room that became the studio, and then it was the dining room and the living room were the studio, and then the rest of my family started getting cranky and wanting their space back. So then I'm like, well, I got to go somewhere and find a place that I can build a proper space. And I was sort of a little tired of the downtown Charlottetown vibe, bit noisy down there, and I just wanted to be a little bit outside the city where I didn't have to worry so much about noise, and also to give people a bit of a getaway. So like,
Yeah,
to be
it's
able
like
to
a
come out
recording
here-
retreat.
It's a bit of a retreat. Like, it's close enough to Charlottetown. Like, I can be at Walmart or whatever in 15 minutes, but at the same time, you drive past livestock in fields when you're coming out here. So I found this place. It had this room you're in right now, the studio rooms that you're in, was an empty garage. It was just a bare wall garage, concrete floor, double garage door, a shell basically for me to be able to then apply all of the studio design concepts that they use in the big spaces in LA and London and New York, but just on a smaller scale. So for those that have never seen the space out here, it's kind of set up like 4 quadrants. Each corner of the space kind of looks in towards the middle.
Is this part of the Star Trek thing, the Alpha Quadrant
Exactly.
and the Delta Quadrant?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the neutral zone. I'm not
We're
gonna tell you
both
about
Star
that
Trek
later.
guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, there are 4 corner spaces here in the room. One corner is the control room. You have the main live room facing it, and then 2 other little booths to the 2 sides. So it's like 4 corners all look into the middle, but every musician has their own acoustically isolated space that's all glassed in so they can see one another when they're making their wonderful musical sounds.
Just like our radio studio.
Just kind of like a radio studio.
Like the ones I started out in.
Exactly.
So,
Me too.
Yeah, that's right.
Me too.
Yeah, John is also a radio guy.
Absolutely.
Although they actually let him talk on the radio.
Every now and again, yes.
That's why iTunes is a podcast.
For better or for worse, Mike.
Because corporate radio did not want to take on this show, which is why we're doing
corporate
it here.
radios can't hold this. It can't contain all this.
Oh, not what it's become. No, the cuss words alone.
Exactly.
And that's just when I'm trying to record.
Yeah. I did have to ask if swearing was permitted on the show. So I'm going to try
it
my
could
best to
be.
be a good boy, but I just want to let everybody know in case something slips out that what happens here, and that we're in the the cone of silence here, the dome of secrecy.
Cone of silence.
Yeah.
iTunes content warning.
Exactly.
Some listener discretion.
Yes.
Freaking advice.
Whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens.
So y'all know, okay?
Yep.
And that might actually be very freeing for me because I usually try not to cuss. Will Smith doesn't have to cuss in his raps to sell records.
Fair enough. Like I said, I'm going to try to be good, but just in case.
Try to be good, and if you can't be good at it.
Yeah, then be real good at being bad.
That's how I used to sign off. Before I added the democracy bit to the end of the show.
Love it.
Oh my God, everything from here on is not particularly scripted. So you've
Amazing.
been in addition to obviously having your own musical ambitions and expressing yourself through your own lyrics and recordings, you ended up recording for pretty much, well, not everybody, but a who's who.
A lot of people.
A definite who's who. Now that I'm thinking of it, how did you end up becoming like an engineer? Like, did you have that in mind at first, or was it I want to just be a musician, and then it sort of segued into that, or did you always want to do both, or how did that happen?
I have always had a musical brain. So the very first bit of like official band recording I've ever did, I was 6 years old. My dad in Cape Breton was a sound guy also. Like, he did live sound for bands in the 70s and sang in a rock band. So there were always like long-haired sketchy musicians around, and they would be set up. The bands would be set up in the house, rehearsing and stuff. I remember being 6 years old with my little Sony cassette recorder with a single mic on it, right? Single microphone. And I would be at the band rehearsals, and I had my little cassette recorder, and I would walk around the room and try to record the band as they were rehearsing, and I would try to find the best place in the room. Where's the spot in the room where I can put my little tape recorder, where I can hear all the parts, I can hear the singer, and I can hear the guitar player. I was 6 years old doing this. So I think it's somehow a genetic feature. It's
sounds
built in
like.
here somehow.
Do you still have any of those old tapes?
I do still have them
my
all.
God, that would be so cool
I
to
do.
digitize those.
It's so cool. Yeah, I've started kind of going back through the cassette library here. But that was my first sort of introduction to recording bands, 6 years old. And then I've always been you mentioned radio. So I've been a radio guy. I worked full-time in radio for a lot of years. And that, of course, gave me access to studios and microphones. So it was a good recipe for a guy that was teaching himself guitar and teaching himself bass and other things. So like when I wasn't doing my radio gig, I could go into the studios at night and mess around with all these microphones and tape
The
machines
reason
and
I'm laughing is because some of the songs I did in 1990
Yep.
was at WDKC
Exactly, right.
in Fort Pierce, Florida,
So
where
you
I was
get
a country
access.
DJ,
Yeah.
me.
That's amazing.
At a country station.
Yeah.
And while we had the overnight Fred Sanders trucking show running in the syndication, I would go into the production room at 4 a.m. and record my very bad, but with kernels
Yep.
of something songs.
Songs, yes.
Yeah, on reel to reel.
Yeah, that's how it all began for me, was cutting tape and
Yep.
reel-to-reels and all that.
Is
And then
that not a
eventually-
lost art with getting in there
It's
with the razor blade?
Definitely a lost art. If you gave that to most modern recording engineers, they'd look at you funny. Like,
Oh,
what,
yeah.
am I supposed to shave with this? What am I doing here?
Are the
what am I-
lyrics that bad? Am I supposed to use this on my wrist? I mean,
Are you trying to send me a message here? But no, I started working in radio studios and getting kind of my feet under me that way, doing little demos of my own, messing around, recording covers or whatever. Or like I'm a bit of a songwriter, so I would have had a few probably like embryonic stage songs.
Good
that
word.
would have been recording, and I'd get a couple of friends. If there was a friend that had a song and they wanted it recorded, I'd bring them into the radio station and steal the gear or whatever, steal the time when nobody's in there at night, kind of thing. So that's how it began. And then when I had this house in Charlottetown, I set up a little bedroom studio just for myself. Same thing. I had a computer and a couple of microphones, and just was planning on doing it as a hobby. I was still working full time in radio, so it was just a hobby. And I started, I had discovered a really cool band from PEI called the Chucky Danger Band.
funny you should say.
These young guys mostly from Belfast, and I had seen them play a couple of shows downtown in the summer of 2004. They were just kids, like late teenagers, but they were terrific. They were very entertaining on stage, great players, great singers. They had great songs. And so I had just set up this little bedroom studio, and I went backstage to one of their shows at the Guild in Charlottetown. And, it was kind of they were doing weekly gigs at the Guild at that time. And I would go every week. It was like my one little treat was like Sunday night or whatever it was. I'm going to go see Chucky Danger Band, these young guys. And so I wanted to help them. I was like, you guys are awesome and your songs are great. I just set up this little bedroom studio. If you ever would want to come over and record something proper to try to get you on the radio, get some more exposure.
Get a demo.
Get a little demo together kind of thing. So that was the first band I ever worked with, and brought them into my little one-room studio and recorded a couple of tunes with them, 3 tunes altogether. And those tunes immediately got some great success. The first song we recorded got played extensively locally on Magic 93 at the time. There's a name from the past for all you Islanders out there, Magic 93. It made number 1 on the top 9 at 9 on Magic 93. So that's great. Okay, good. Let's do another song now. So we did another song together called Sweet Symphony, and that one ended up becoming nominated for the ECMA Single of the Year back in 2006.
Sweet.
So it was like I had really early success with a couple of these things. And
yeah, you
so
just jumped off there.
Yeah, I kind of thought, well, maybe this is the universe trying to point me in a direction. So I'm like, well, I'm going to embrace this and see where it goes. And so word of mouth started getting around. This guy is doing some recording, and I just started getting calls from people saying, can you record my stuff? And so it very organically, just by word of mouth and just by the work I was doing, it just kind of the universe shepherded me towards doing what I do. So that's how it started. And then it's just been growing from there. Like I said, it started in 1 room in my house, then 2, then 3, then I eventually in 2011 moved out here to Emyvale and got to design and build this studio that we're in right now.
From scratch, which
From
is pretty,
scratch, from the ground up,
pretty
literally.
freaking cool.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of from the ground up, Chucky Danger Band, I hope they didn't get the name from Chucky, the good guys. The Chucky, the movies?
Yeah.
The movies?
I remember they got in trouble. Remember the band Harvey Danger?
No.
There was some issue there, I think. They had to change the name of the band because of Harvey Danger, this other
Okay.
band.
I was just
you would know them now just if we can bring you up to modern times, their new band name is Paper Lions. So you would know them better now.
You would
as
know
Paper
them.
Lions.
You guys would know them better as Paper
But
Lions.
back in the day, my OGs remember the Chucky Danger Band.
Chucky Danger Band. Chucky with the red bowl cut.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
Which will turn any kid crazy.
Yes.
Actually, the one picture I did see of the guys being John and Rob McPhee, Colin Buchanan, who's now a big producer in his own right,
Yep.
and David McDonald.
Yep.
They all kind of have that emo Beatles thing going on.
Emo Beatles, that's a great description. Yeah, they would wear the suits,
Yep.
and they had the same
Yeah, the
haircuts and
mop
the
top-
little mop top
hair.
haircut going.
Yep.
They had tons of great stage shtick. Like they would do all kinds of neat tricks and musical things on stage that were very, very entertaining, and nobody else was doing at the time, on PEI especially. And they had some great success as Chucky Danger, and then later as Paper Lions too.
Right, when they really blew up and they played, they changed their name in 2008.
Yep. That's right.
They ended up playing on MTV Live.
Yeah.
They had their music on a U.S. television show. They toured with Cake.
Exactly.
I don't
like
not bad for PEI.
I don't like to take full credit, but all I'm saying is like we worked together first.
Okay.
Without that, maybe none of that would have happened.
Hey.
I'm not trying to take full credit, but I'm just
I think you should take some credit.
I'll take
You
a little
should-
credit
you should
at least.
Take at least a slice.
I'll take a tiny bit.
Like a slice of cake.
Yes,
See how
a
that
slice
ties
of-
all together.
Oh, that's a great
See how that all
segue.
ties together.
It's professional broadcasting.
I
Right
still
there.
got it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play. Chucky Danger Band from this 3-track EP that you worked on. It's called "Woe Is Us," and the song, which you had mentioned before, is called "Sweet Symphony." Is there anything that you remember in particular about this song, or
It was a big production at the time. We recorded strings for this. We had a couple of string players, violin and cello, come in and layer up a bunch of strings to turn into a little symphony. And there was a lot of overdubs and vocal parts and little guitar layering. And it was for the second song I ever recorded by a band, it was a pretty big production. A lot of parts and a lot of, these guys were pretty picky guys too. Like they knew what they wanted. Even though they were young kids at the time, all kind of 17, 18 years old.
But still, that's important that they had that level of.
Yeah, they knew what they wanted, and they were going to go for it, kind of thing. So it's a very orchestral kind of number, as you'll hear. There's a little string section solo in the middle, and some great vocals by the band, some great guitar play. I mean, they're all great players. So this was like the thing that kind of started my recording career as far as the first big success on like the ECMA stage.
And theirs.
And theirs as well. Yeah.
So it all ties together, and that's what we're here to do here on iTunes. Let's play you the Chucky Danger Band. This is Sweet Symphony here on iTunes.
Lost you once again, seems I've never found what's piercing me like daggers, hearing that sweet sound. Your bitter falling tears scream betrayal over eyes. I'm sick of the same story, you apologize. The more that I love, more I bleed. The more that I love, more I bleed. Tired and I'm torn between love and losing her. Measure what you're worth. You push me to the edge, and do you realize I'm sick of the same story? You apologize. The more that I love, more I bleed. The more that I love, more I
isletunes. That was the Chucky Danger Band, and it's from 2005, the song Sweet Symphony, recorded by, John Matthews, who I happen to be sitting here with in the Sound Mill. I keep wanting to say Sound Mill Studios. I don't want to get the syntax incorrect.
Exactly. The Sound Mill.
Thank you very much. So yes, we are here and we're kind of doing not a retrospective, but we're taking a little journey through John's recording career, not only of other artists, but you'll be hearing some of his own songs.
20 years, my friend.
20 years.
As far as like a job. I've been paid to do this now for 20 years.
What a concept.
It's a great chance to look back, and it's been fun kind of getting ready for this, putting together a list of songs, and I tried to kind of pick some stuff that was meaningful for me personally through my recording career, but also kind of the signposts of success that I've had along the way with some of the artists too. So it's kind of a nice combo and a good chance because a lot of these tunes, some of them were recorded 15, 20 years ago, and I don't. You might be surprised to know I don't just sit here and listen to the stuff I recorded all day long, but
living on my past glories.
Exactly. Yes, I only listen to things I record. So I haven't heard some of this stuff in a long time, and it was really cool today to sit down and kind of pick through it all. And in a couple of cases, I even decided to do a little slight mastering touch up. That's a little secret between you and me and the podcast audience. A couple of little touch-ups here and there, especially just so you could all enjoy an optimal listening experience of some of these tunes from very early in my recording career.
Optimal experience.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide because we know for a fact that you didn't use AI.
No, absolutely
you
not.
You have the skills and the chops.
No artificial intelligence here, only whatever small amount I can muster personally.
I say nothing, I know nothing.
Natural intelligence or lack thereof.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. So let's move on to the next artist that we're going to have here. She kind of blew up, and you were again kind of at the forefront of this artist's career. I'm talking about Megan Blanchard. She's from Hunter River. She has a guitar style that's kind of described as claw hammer, finger picking style, and she went on to play the 2009 Canada Games opening ceremony and the 2010 Winter Olympics. And oh my God, and it all started with the Sound Mill. Well, not all, but I mean, you again had a hand to play in it.
It did. There was a wonderful gentleman who was a big part of the island music industry for a lot of years, a fellow that a lot of people in the business here in PEI will remember. His name is Lloyd Doyle. Wonderful champion of musicians here on PEI. He ran a management company himself and managed artists for a number of years called Sandbar Music. That was his company.
Oh, of course. I've heard of that.
Yeah, and so Lloyd is unfortunately no longer with us, but Lloyd brought Megan Blanchard to my studio. He'd heard some things that I had done, the Chucky Danger and some other bands. I was working with a lot of the local bands then, so he kind of got the buzz on me in the studio. And so he said, would you ever want to do an EP with this young girl I've just found called Megan Blanchard? And I had no idea who Megan was, had never heard her or saw her before. But I do very clearly remember her coming in to record demos. And I hadn't met her or, like I said, or heard her at all. And in she came into my studio control room with the long flowing the long flowing red curls and her guitar. Very much kind of the hippie child in a lot of ways. An absolute charmer, and she sat on a stool in my control room, and we just recorded demos that we were going to use to give to the musicians so they could learn the songs. And it's one of the striking memories of my recording career was having Megan come in and sit on the stool, open her guitar case. I sat her in front of one microphone, and she just played all these songs by herself, fearlessly and perfectly in my control room. And having not heard that magnificent voice before, I remember very clearly just being bowled over by her talent.
And she would have been what, like 18?
Oh my God, barely out of her teens, maybe 19 or 20, very, very young. And so that's a memory that I really think about a lot, and that's in the recording business. You never know who's going to come through the door. I've had it happen a bunch of times over the years where, where did this person come from? And certainly that was my experience with Megan. And working on that EP was wonderful. We had a big cast of many, many players all coming in to contribute. And I remember specifically like some of the band sessions where we got the whole band playing at once. And of course, I was recording in my house at the time. I didn't have a proper studio space. So for that session, I remember we had people in the living room, my control room was in the dining room of the house. We had like the guitar player in the kitchen. The drummer was in a porch or something. Like it was just everybody was spread out. I had cables running everywhere so that I could have little booths for everybody, but they basically took over the whole house.
Wire World.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
Plug Eddie, as I like to say. And
Was anybody in the tub?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Oh, okay. That was.
I have a legal agreement in place that,
That was
prevents me from talking about
That was after the tape stopped rolling. Okay.
It was, yeah. But no, that album was a wonderful thing to work on. John Connolly, a good friend of mine, produced it. I engineered on it. And again, we had a great bunch of players, including Rich Knox, who's now drumming with Danko Jones and playing for huge festival crowds all over the world. Crowds of 10s and 20,000, 30,000 people at a time. He's a wonderful drummer, and he was part of the band for this album. So real special, real great bunch of people, and a real signpost for me in my career was working on this album.
So it's kind of appropriate then that the album was called Changing Things?
Indeed, and it did for Megan and a little bit for me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this would have been 2008.
Yeah.
And the song that we're going to play off of that is called You Know.
Indeed.
So what do you know about it?
What I know is it was the first song that when Megan came into the studio and sat on her stool, this was the first song she played. So it's the first song I got to hear her sing, which is partly why I chose it. And I also, somewhat self-servingly chose it because I sing backup vocals on it.
There he is. Your first taste of John Matthews'
Exactly.
vocal goodness.
Yes.
And it's on isletunes as the backup vocalist for Megan Blanchard. This is You Know from her 2008 album, Changing Things.
There's a picture in my room. It's torn to pieces, it's of me and you. I've found a new way of breaking your heart. I've found a better way of falling apart. It'll be alright if you go, darling, just leave it alone and brave the rain or the snow to be alright. I will be alright. You know, 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 you know,
iTunes brings you Megan Blanchard with the song You Know. It's from her 2008 album, Changing Things. And from what I understand, she has always believed in the healing power of music. And since the death of a loved one of hers in 2018, she has begun offering her services as a funeral singer.
She has.
So she does that now as well.
Yep, very big part of what she does. And yeah, it's a really special thing, a service that she provides, I think.
Yeah.
And she's had some wonderful experiences, just being with families in their vulnerable time of grief. And helping to bring a little joy back into their lives.
And that's really important. So she is available to be booked.
She
actually.
is.
So
yes.
I want to say meganblanchard.com, but I could be wrong. Just Google it.
Jujule. Use the Jujule.
Use the Jujule. 2 Dixie Riddle cups in a string, and you'll find her. So all right, let's try this now. We're gonna go to Montreal for this one. I think.
All right.
Maybe
One of my favorite cities in Canada.
Maybe stop at Saint Hubert.
Land of the smoked meat and the bagel.
Some chicken. Chaz Gay from Montreal first came and visited here in the island in 1973, and like so many of us, including me, fell in love with the place. That's, like I said, that happened for me when I came to visit in 2004, and I've lived here almost 20 years now. So he came here, became part of the music scene. He recorded with Christina and the Sonic Roots, and also the jazz funk band OST. But it would seem that he recorded a solo album.
Indeed.
And John had something to do with that.
Yeah, an album called Little Cities, which that title track is written about Charlottetown. That's the way it'll always be. Little city on an island, little island by the sea. Something like that. Chaz is wonderful. A lot of people would remember him playing bass for a bunch of the acts here on the island over the years. Very, very well-known face on the island music scene. You probably also remember him behind the counter at Back Alley Discs back in the day.
That's right. He's the
former
owner.
That's right. Started in a back alley, that record store. Chaz is a wonderful musician in every way. Great guitar player, bass player, singer-songwriter. And this was also a really special album to work on with a lot of incredibly talented musicians. Chris Corrigan, the wonderful guitar player, did some wonderful overdubs. Roy Johnstone played some really cool, kind of atmospheric violin, shall we say. Just great playing all the way around. A lot of tremendous players on the album, and a real special project for me to work on back in the day.
And that day would have been 2009?
Somewhere around there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what song are we going to play off of this album?
I chose a tune called Radio, which I enjoy very much. You will notice some pretty awesome stacked harmonies, and I think it's a really good showpiece for the band. Mostly a lot of it recorded live. The band would have been recorded live, and then we had the vocalists all come in and sing around a couple of microphones, I think. So all these harmonies that you're going to hear in this tune were literally all recorded by a group of singers live together.
Nice.
Real humans doing things together.
We're doing real human things.
Doing real human things. Yeah. So I like this tune a lot. It's not one that gets a ton of exposure off this record. There's a couple of other ones that people play a little bit more. So I thought Radio is the one I'm going to pick.
Radio, even though it's on a podcast.
Exactly.
But then we both have radio experience, so
we do.
There you go.
Full circle.
And I love the fact that it's kind of a deeper cut.
It is a slightly deeper cut.
Because I like to do that here
totally
on iTunes, which I said is not radio but a podcast. But the song is Radio, and it's from Chaz Gay.
That girl around here, she could really sing. She shakes it all up and she welcomes you in. song from a bird. She's poetic and honest in every word. Baby's on the radio. You hear her voice everywhere you go. Baby's on the radio. That girl around here, she can mess with your heart. Steps up to the mic before the band even starts. We all knew her then, but we don't know her now. She's turned into that person she'd never allow. She gets to your heart like a song from a bird. She's poetic and honest in every word. Baby's on the radio. You hear her voice everywhere you go. Baby's on the radio. 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 Baby's on the radio.
You just heard Chaz Gay on isletunes from his 2009 album Little City. That was the deep cut Radio. Y'all remember Radio, right? It still kind of exists.
Sure.
Coming up, Mountains of Grass in a Place with No Mountains, getting together with a playbook, and turning grief into a record. Now, we have been weaving through the musical history of John Matthews, which is an apt enough setup for also diving into what used to go on the island, because we've reached the point in the show called This Week in PEI History. June 12th, 1890. The Daily Examiner, which, like I'm guessing most newspapers of its day did, gave readers more ads to examine than actual news, ran two reward notices, one on top of the other. The first declared that the city of Charlottetown would give no less than $100, $2,700 in 2026 money, to any person who will give such information as will lead to the conviction of the person or persons who feloniously set fire to the premises of Mr. James Beals on the night of 15th April 1890. Hope that was a reprint and that it didn't actually take 2 months to get that search into the paper. Just below was the next reward offer, also for $100, which wasn't exactly chump change back then, to anyone who could help capture another felonious fire starter who flamed out a certain premises known as the Brown Block. I know these people didn't have streaming services or social media, but did they really have nothing better to do than to set fire to things to entertain themselves? June 15, 1940, the Charlottetown Guardian announced that a Lieutenant Colonel F.B. Conrad from Charlottetown had been appointed second in command of the signalers in the 3rd Division. I guess the article assumed everybody already knew what that even was, but I had to look it up. Signalers was short for the Royal Canadian Corps of Signals, and what they did was set up and maintain communication between the front lines and headquarters, whether that be over the wireless, which was radio, or through telephone lines. But the signalers also saw combat when they were needed. As for Conrad, he had already served in World War I, fighting in France from June 1916 to August 1918, and between wars, he had operated a wholesale produce business in Charlottetown and was actively involved with the town's golf club and curling club. But clearly, Conrad understood that fascism, which sparked during World War I and was the cause of World War II, was not a game. June 18, 1954. The Guardian of the Gulf's front page that day ran with an article declaring that a decision had been made at a meeting of the Retail Merchants Association that daylight saving time would be adopted 2 days later at midnight Sunday night. Mind you, I said the Retail Merchants Association made that decision. As daylight saving time wouldn't be a thing on the island as a whole for another 9 years, the choice to move clocks forward was strictly a business strategy. Then Charlottetown Mayor J.D. Stewart defended the move, having been assured that we are not breaking the law by adopting daylight saving time. If people wanted to set their clocks an hour ahead, nothing said they couldn't. Gotta love that logic. Classroom clocks were to spring forward as well for the short time left in the school year, and Stewart went on to say that the change meant the difference between a satisfactory summer and no summer at all. And you thought the business class wasn't controlling people's lives 72 years ago.
Hey there, everybody. This is Kelly Mooney broadcasting to you from isletunes.
Yes, it's true. You're listening to isletunes, and I am here with John Matthews. We are kind of going through his recording career as an engineer and a producer, but also we'll be hearing a little bit of his own repertoire coming up. But we are going, we're going in chronological order. But speaking of chronology, notice how I saved that, June 23rd, we are going to be having the isletunes season finale live show, and the emphasis is on live. It is at the Trailside. Y'all know that, or at least y'all know that venue. Now you know that this concert's happening there, and it's going to be, oh my God, Richard Wood is going to be there, Jay Diss, Nika Romero, I want to say Paula Abdul. Sorry about that. Paula Arsenault.
If Paula Abdul was going to be there, I mean...
Straight up.
Yeah, we can neither confirm nor deny that Paula Abdul
She
will
might-
be there.
she might be
be
there.
a good way to try and entice people.
If-
It's a bit of a bait and switch, but that's okay.
If they can make if they can make room on the stage for her
Exactly.
dance routine.
Yes.
Paula Arsenault was what I was trying to say. Karen Pyra's going to be there. Scott Parsons. This combo, guys, I don't know if that's ever happened here on the island with these people together, and they're all coming together not only to celebrate the end of the 3rd season of isletunes, but it's going to be kind of a benefit for democracy. We're going to be giving part of the proceeds to the Cooper Institute. As I mentioned before, for over 40 years they've been doing their best to support human rights and democracy. And you guys know from listening to the show, because I talk about it all the time, big democracy really needs help right now.
Oh, yes. Now
Really,
more than ever.
Now more than ever, really needs some freaking help right now.
Oh, yes.
And so this show will, kind of help you do that. And you get to listen to some amazing live artists while you're at it. And maybe I might do a song of mine. So we'll just see about that. After that, you might want a refund. But wouldn't you know, no refunds. So anyway, that is June 23rd at the Trailside. You can get tickets now at trailside.ca or call Back Alley Music at 902-367-3311. My God, I'm flashing back to my radio days doing this. I feel like I'm reading a liner card because
smooth.
Because I basically am. So let's see, how am I going to segue into these folks? There's 6 of them. I got 6 of them, and they're kind of known for old-time music.
Yeah.
Old-time, in your case here being 2009, which is when you worked with them. That does rather seem like a long time ago now. They made their debut the year before, from what I understand, and they're kind of bluegrass, folk.
I like to call them professional hillbillies.
I like it.
That's what I always...
From what you've played me, that makes sense.
Yeah, we would always joke about them being just a bunch of hillbillies, which they're way more than that, but that's it's an apt label as well.
And they've played folk festivals far and wide. I'd mention them, but we'd be here all night doing that. The frontman is Josh Ellis. We've got Thomas Kirkman, Peter Can, Mark Geddes, Peter Webb, and Gordy McKeeman, pre-Rhythm Boys.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So you had all of them in the studio to record this album.
The band is Grass Mountain Hobos.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, they were a pleasure. Same sort of thing. I had not really known these guys too well until they walked through my door at the studio. And then I realized they were all absolute string playing freak shows and incredibly talented and also very entertaining, very funny guys. We really jived. Our personalities really fit in well together. And yeah, we recorded this album of songs, like you said, pre-Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys. A lot of the Rhythm Boys guys were in this earlier iteration of the band. They used to drive around in a little short bus. They got one of those little school buses, little short school buses. That was like the hobo bus, and they would take it to festivals and concerts. They would roll up in the hobo bus.
Nice.
With their moonshine in the back, smoking smokes. I mean, these guys did not just sing about the country rural lifestyle, they lived the hobo lifestyle for a while.
Moonshine.
Absolutely.
The moonshine bus.
Yes. So we recorded this very much live in the main room, which was the living room of my old recording studio in downtown Charlottetown.
You showed me a video.
I showed you a very grainy video from 2009 from the sessions for this album. And yeah, very, very cool playing. Gordy obviously ripping it up on the fiddle. All the guys, just, the instrumental prowess is there and has been there for those guys forever. So yeah, let's check out a tune by the Grass Mountain Hobos.
And the album is Zoot, as in suit.
The Zoot Suit.
And the song is Hear a Train, and it's here for you on iTunes. Yeah, I went there. Okay.
When Daddy was young, he loaded the livestock car, throwing sows by the dozen round the railroad yard. Oh, if you see a boy grab a hammer like a gun, knock off his tussle or he'll cut you, son. And I can hear a train coming down the track, and the west moon means it ain't coming back. Well, 20 years ago they had trains by the score. I wish that I had seen them, but the trains don't run no more. Well, my father's brother was a bastard boy. Oh, he drank our family's money, then he called for bail. When my granddad died, he only had one son. Well, he would have shot the other if he had a gun. And I can hear a train coming down the track, and the west moon means it ain't coming back. Well, 20 years ago they had trains by the score. I wish that I had seen them, but the trains don't run no more. Pride was in a strong horse team, won the plow and match back in '63. My granddad smiled when he painted the scene of that one day when he couldn't be beat. And I can hear a train coming down the track, in the west moon means it ain't coming back. Well, 20 years ago they had trains by the score. I always said When my daddy was young, he loaded the livestock car.
Grass Mountain Hobos. Not the kind of grass you have to mow, though.
No.
Especially this time of year. Here on iTunes, I'm sitting here with John Matthews.
Hello, hello.
And we are rolling through highlights from his career. How many albums do you think that you've produced, recorded / whatever, over the last 20 years?
My running total albums that I've produced, engineered, mixed, or mastered, I've contributed to in some way, is now over 300.
Oh, wow. That's
I do
way
believe.
higher than I thought.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It's way up there. Yeah, it's been a lot of music and a great privilege and blessing to be able to work on so much wonderful island music over the years. And yeah, to look back, I've got in the hallway here, when you come into the studio, you'll see that there's a collection of, as I like to say, the CDs I could find when I put the shelves up on the wall there. That's kind of a cross-section of the material that's been worked on over the years.
Where are the rest of them? In the archives?
Some are in the archives, otherwise known as my office. We don't go in there, though, because, oh, boy.
Yeah,
you may never come back out of there.
My office is like that, too. Yeah. It's become a repository for stuff I don't know where to put.
Yeah, remember that scene at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they're putting the Ark into the big warehouse, and it's just
Yes.
just shelves and shelves of all this crap? That's my office.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go in there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I would say, yeah, it's over 300 at last total in terms
That's
of
touching
albums that I've
a
worked on.
lot. That's reaching into a lot of the music scene here.
It really
It's
is.
huge.
It really is. And it doesn't, in a lot of ways, it doesn't feel like that. But when I start looking back, it's like, oh, no, it does feel like that.
Like, holy crap, I
yeah,
did all this.
I guess I did do all this.
How did I do that?
Exactly.
And, I mean, not that awards are a big thing, but you got a boatload of Music PI words in the hallway
very
with
lucky.
those CDs
Yep.
weighing down the table out there.
Exactly. Yeah, I have an old 1950s Hammond organ that serves as the primary award shelf.
Perfect.
And if you go to that award shelf, you can see the history of the PEI Music Awards in terms of the physical awards.
Oh, yeah.
Because they start out as like a wooden base with an iron cutout of the island. That was the original Music PEI Award look. And then over time, it kind of evolves into like the glass, a couple of different iterations of glass trophies. And now we're left with kind of the wavy looking one.
Which is also
that we
glass.
have now, which
yeah.
is glass, yeah. But yeah, you can see the various iterations over the years of the different awards. I've been very blessed to have won a number of them over the years: Studio of the Year, and Engineer of the Year, and Producer of the Year, and Chief Cook and Bottle Washer of the Year, Musical Psychotherapist of the Year. A lot of what I do here in the recording business, really, let's face it, it's psychotherapy.
I was going to mention that.
I feel like a therapist a lot of the time in here. So
Because from what I understand, you were just saying at some point that being an engineer is a little bit like being a counselor.
it really is. Yeah, no, you have to you need to bring musical skills to the table. You need to bring technical skills, but you also need to bring personality, troubleshooting skills, because I think when artists come into the studio, a lot of times they're feeling their most vulnerable, most insecure. They're bringing in new songs, new material. In a lot of cases, I work with younger artists that are coming into the studio for the first time. So you're really trying to hold some hands and just make people feel comfortable to be able to open up and deliver, commit to really strong, authentic performances that are going to, represent the material really well. And so a big part of that is just trying to get inside somebody's head and try to anticipate what they need before they even know they need it themselves, and try to give them the creature comforts. Like I said, put the dim lights on, light a candle, do whatever it takes to get them in the vibe, get them comfortable. So yeah, the psychological management is just as important in a recording project as the musical or the technical.
So you're kind of like the ship's counselor.
I am the Deanna Troy
I was gonna
of this
say.
recording studio.
Or the aim.
I wish that I were able to have her powers of mind reading, but I don't have that empathic ability, unfortunately.
Little beta Z action there.
Yeah.
Or you could be the EMH.
I wouldn't mind that either. I'd like to be able to shut myself off sometimes, that's for sure.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
They state the nature of the microphone emergency.
Yeah, exactly. We're both Trekkies. I'm
Star
sorry.
Trek nerd alert.
it's-
Star Trek nerd alert.
It's gonna come in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going through Voyager season 6. No,
Yeah.
I just ended season 5. That's
Amazing.
what it
I'm on Enterprise season 3 right now.
was. Ooh, I need to go back and watch that.
Oh yeah, I'm deep in the Xindi Wars here.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Where they put the laser to Florida.
Carve it up like a Sunday roast.
I know, I know most of y'all Canadians love Florida, but I lived there for 6 years and I hated every minute of it.
Fair enough.
The only, I swear, I mean, you know how you always hear Florida man does this?
Mm-hmm.
I swear, they have well water down there. I mean, I know we do too, but the well water down there smells like sulfur.
Yes.
And it doesn't taste very good. And I swear there's something in that water that makes people goofy.
I've spent some time in Fort Lauderdale. I'm not going to say any more about it than that, but you know what I'm talking about.
We used to call it Fort Murderdale.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that lines up.
Yeah. Oh, no, I lived there for 6 years and couldn't wait to get out. I have some good friends from there. I have some good high school memories from there because that was when I got into drama class, which helped pull me out of myself. Props to my teacher, Kristen Taylor, who saw me in yet another new school and is like, we need to get this kid help somehow.
What can we do with this guy?
And here we are today.
Here we are.
And also my first radio job, which also led to where we're at today.
Indeed.
And speaking of where we're leading to, that was a terrible segue, but I'm going to keep going anyways. We're going to go into the next decade, 2010. And this next artist is from Charlottetown. She started performing when she was 13, and it looks.
I'm going to correct you very.
Please
I'm going
do.
to say Harrington, not Charlottetown, just in case she's listening. Because she
sorry
will
about
say,
that.
I am not from Charlottetown. I am from Harrington.
Harrington. My
which
apologies.
Is a mere 10 minutes north of Charlottetown.
But still, it counts.
in island
counts.
parlance, you need to mention the small community.
Even I know that counts. So my
Yes.
apologies there. I got that from the interwebs.
Exactly.
Or
No, we're going to focus in even more and say
actually,
Harrington.
I think it was from a book I got that. But
Could
okay,
be.
Harrington. I'll have
Yeah.
to write that down someplace. But she did start performing at 13, as far as I know. Again,
Definitely.
I'm going off of this book, and she had her first album at age 16, which is a pretty big deal.
Huge deal.
Huge deal. And you did one of the. I don't know if this is the first album of hers or
We
not.
should say
Probably
we're
not.
talking about Cynthia McLeod.
We are talking about Cynthia McLeod. I was just about to get there. Don't rush me.
Sorry, man.
We're talking about Cynthia McLeod.
We are.
And I don't know if you worked on her first album. I have a feeling it was a little later.
Her very first album was done in the early 2000s, before
Okay.
I even moved to Prince Edward Island. But we've worked together pretty extensively in the studio and on stage. I've worked on, I think, 3 of her albums over the years, including
nice.
a live DVD and CD that we recorded live at Brackley Beach Community Center during her very popular Summer Kaylee series.
Sweet.
We had a film crew come out and film it and recorded all the audio. And Cynthia and I do a lot of playing on stage as well. We just played last night, in fact.
That was the gig you were
That
at.
was my gig last night. Yeah, no, we've toured together all over the world, all over the place. We've played on cruise ships. We've played on Air Canada flights. We've played on we've done all kinds of crazy things over the years. Her and I. We've had a long and very fun career of playing music together. Like I said, live and also in the studio.
I was going to say, so it makes sense that
Yeah.
you have this working relationship that extended to the studio.
For sure, yeah.
So this particular album, you said, is Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any recollection? I can't talk. Any recollections of that riddle?
I do remember this album. This was a really fun one. We kind of set off originally with this album to have somebody come in and produce each track. That was the original vision, was like, we're going to get a guest to come in and kind of co-produce, put their fingerprint on each one of the tracks. That didn't quite work out that way.
There's a lot of logistics involved with that.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, we did have a lot of people that pitched in and helped out, and we had a lot of wonderful players, again, come in from all over PEI and beyond to come and play on the record. And this was really, I think, a really stretching out kind of album for Cynthia. She kind of went off in a lot of different directions on this. We, incorporated some different styles, different sounds, stuff that sounds more like a kitchen party, and then some other stuff that's a lot more produced sounding. We have one that kind of, a track on there that kind of imitates the sound of like an Irish session, like a Kaylee session, which is when, traditional musicians get together and just kind of jam. There's a couple of vocal numbers on there. One that she worked on with a pal of ours called Dave Gunning from Nova Scotia. Co-wrote that one. And yeah, it's a really cool album. I got to do The Devil Went Down to Georgia
Oh, wow.
on that album, because when we would play live, and even now when we play live, we get, we ask the audience for requests.
Sure.
And invariably, the one fiddle-related song that most people know is The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
It works because
And-
in the song they're talking about Johnny, and you're Johnny.
I'm Johnny. So we thought, and we didn't it's not really our style to play live. It's not a song that fits well with what we do. But we always got asked about it. So we decided, in the case of this album, to record it so that people could then just buy the CD. And we would never have to play it live. We could just tell people when they came up to us, buy the CD. It's on the CD. We're not going to play it, but it's right here on the CD.
And I'm sure that totally worked because you never had to play it again, right?
Never. And I don't think we have.
Oh, really? I was being facetious.
No, we literally do not play it. It's not our style.
I mean,
we did record it.
Yeah, I mean, no shade on the CD. I
Yeah.
was just like thinking, yeah, you probably ended up having to play it anyways.
Yeah.
So what?
It was cool. A really
That
cool
is
album.
cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. Well, so what are we going to play here?
We're going to hear a tune written in the United States, I believe, I think it was written in the United States. The song, or the tune, it's not even a song or a tune, it's a piece. How about that?
Peace.
Piece of music called Washington Square Park, an instrumental number featuring guitars by our buddy John Connolly, who I mentioned earlier. Great singer and songwriter and producer himself. I got to play drums on this track, which is cool. So my drumming fingerprints are there. And it features a stellar fretless bass solo by our pal from up west, the wonderful Remy Arsenault, who is one of Canada's and North America's and the world's great traditional musicians. He is currently touring the world as part of Natalie McMaster, Natalie and Danelle Leahy, their band, Natalie being one of the great Cape Breton fiddlers. He tours all over the world with them. He's from right here in PEI and plays an incredible fretless bass solo. So listen for that.
I know he performs a lot at Mont Carmel.
He does. Yeah, that's his neck of the woods for sure. That's home base. And his family is incredibly talented. His kids are all incredible players. You'll see them all over PEI, no doubt, this summer too.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially now that it's summer.
Oh, yeah.
So set your GPS to Washington Square Park right here on iTunes. This is Cynthia McLeod from 2010. This is iTunes, and you just heard Washington Square Park. That's from the album Riddle by Cynthia McLeod. That's, 16 years ago. What?
Don't even.
What? How does
Don't
that even happen?
I don't understand time sometimes.
I don't really get that either. We were talking about her summer series before her Kaylee's, but I know that she often performs with Gordon Belcher
For sure.
on his summer series, which I haven't seen officially, but I am certain it has to be going on again this summer.
They call it PEI's Happiest Kaylee up at the Stanley Bridge Hall, and
That's where it
it's
is,
a wonderful collection of very happy individuals. So I'd recommend you go check that out.
Yeah, and Gordon is amazing.
He is.
And usually you'll find Todd McLean there.
Often, yes.
Often. And God, who's the other one? Courtney Hogan Chandler, I
the
think?
wonderful Courtney Hogan Chandler on fiddle, yeah.
So good summer stuff going on here.
Totally, yes.
Good. Let's venture forward in time a little bit. We got someone who actually has worked as a math teacher, which kind of works because math, music,
Some would say they are very closely related.
They can intertwine for sure. And this fellow, it's Ian Toms. He left the island for Montreal in 1998 to kind of immerse himself in the jazz scene over there and the blues. He did end up coming back.
Yep, has a degree in music from McGill in Montreal.
Good. See, you got more information than I do. I know that he made his debut, had his debut record in 2006.
Yep.
Excuse me. But you came in around 2011.
Yep.
For this album. So talk to me about that.
This was another really fun one to do, and this project actually was kind of the bridging project between my original studio downtown in Charlottetown, which is where it was all tracked, and then it was the first project that I mixed out here in Emyvale before I even had built the sound mill. So when we moved here, I'd set up a little control room and studio space in the basement inside the house to kind of just accommodate my work until I could build all of this.
Right.
So yeah, the project was the last, I think pretty well almost the last thing that was recorded in the old studio space, and the first thing I mixed out here. And three wonderful musicians. Ian Toms, as anybody from PEI probably is well aware, is definitely one of Atlantic Canada's, if not Atlantic Canada's finest jazz guitar players. And any style, really. The guy is a wizard. He's incredible and one of the nicest guys around. He played in a wonderful trio with old school buddies of his that he's known since they were all kids. My buddy Ross McDonald on the bass, the upright bass, who now works for the Canadian military. He's a professional bass player with the Canadian military out in BC.
Why not?
I know. That's his job. He's a military bassist, but a wonderful upright bass player, one of the best. And Rich Knox, again, bringing Rich back into things on the drums, well known as a rock drummer, but he's also a great jazz drummer, too. So these guys recorded as a trio, and we're going to play one of Ian's original pieces here, which features Ian on acoustic guitar, which is something he doesn't do as much as his electric playing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this is one of Ian's own compositions.
And this is from the album Playbook.
From the album Playbook.
Which we're going to open up right now to give you the song Togethering. It's right here on iTunes. The Ian Thomas Trio on iTunes with the 2011 song Togethering. That's from his album, or rather their album, Playbook. I know that Ian also plays, I don't know if he still does, but I know he has played with the Island Jazz Quartet, Dan Roswell.
Yeah, you'll
and
always
Chris Martell, Matt McEachern.
find him there with that crew, yes.
Find
And
him
Winter
there.
Jazz sometimes as well, with Glenn Strickey.
Oh, right.
That fine bunch of folks, and here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, Ian's pretty tremendous.
Yep, still doing his thing.
Yep.
As I believe this fellow is doing as well, because I know he's done some recent concerts, but we're going to go back to 2014 for this one. Brian J. Dunn, I hope I'm not getting the cities wrong. It says he's from North Wiltshire.
That is current home base for Mr. Brian J. Dunn.
Okay,
yes.
got that one right. Let us not say that we don't try to do research around here on
Exactly.
iTunes.
He's a Charlottetown boy, but he's been living in North Wiltshire for quite some time.
From what I understand, in the 90s, he was in the band The Life of Riley with Michael Pendergast.
Who was also part of the gig I played last night.
Really?
Yeah, I just played with Mike last night.
Nice. See, it all ties together.
It does.
The interesting part to me is that Brian went to school in Mississippi.
He did.
And while he was down there, not only did he kind of spread the island influence around their music, but he picked up an influence from their music, the southern kind of style, and then brought that back up here when he returned to the island in 2006, and that's had an effect on his repertoire.
Certainly has. Yeah, he's got a tune on the record that's about his experiences kind of witnessing the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. He spent a lot of time in New Orleans. There's a tune called Guns Below that's very much about being in a really sketchy room with a bunch of, very dicey individuals somewhere in New Orleans, and yeah, a lot of those Southern influences definitely kind of come up and bubble up on the album. The album is called Death Do Us Part, and this project for me was a really, really special one because of the timing of it, which came just on the heels of Brian's wife passing at a very young age, and they had a few small kids at the time, and so Brian was kind of picking up the pieces and trying to sort of deal with grief and the changes that go with that, and so it all kind of poured into the songs. So when he came to me, he brought in a bunch of just demos on his phone kind of thing, little recordings on his phone. We picked through them all, and we chose the material for the album and tried to find a bit of a through line for all these songs, so that really the album kind of chronicles that time in his life. Not specifically just dealing with his wife passing away and so forth, but just everything that was kind of happening leading up to that, and kind of their story together as a couple, and then sort of dealing with what was to come after her departure, kind of thing. So very emotional time for him and for me as well, working on these tunes. I think Brian has an incredible, he's got one of what I like to call a radio voice, where it just sounds like a record. Some people have a voice that just sounds like something you should hear on the radio, and he's one of those guys to me.
And even though the album covers so many painful things, I think it's also wonderful that he was able to chronicle the relationship that he had, and kind of, document that. Musically.
Absolutely. Something for his kids I often wonder when they listen to that now, kind of what they think of these songs about, their mom from 10, 15 years ago.
Exactly. Especially if they were little.
They were
at
quite
the
little
time,
at the time.
which is a very tragic thing for a child
a lot
to have to deal with. But then, and being able to kind of relive the story of their parents.
Exactly. Pretty special, I would say.
So which song are we going to play off this record?
Gonna play the big finale tune on the record, which is one that Brian and I have done a lot of playing live as well together. I always like to sing and play this one with him live. It's a song called River, which sort of it's a simple song in some ways, but this arrangement kind of stretches out as it goes on. It starts very small and simple, and it kind of grows and features some different soloists throwing around some hot licks. Some great harmonies by the wonderful Catherine McClellan, who came in and sang harmony on this. And again, some tremendous musicianship all the way around. A good buddy of ours named Troy Ingle, who now tours with Ricky Skaggs.
Oh, wow.
Played on this, and you'll
I
hear...
didn't know Ricky was still around.
Ricky's still rocking, man. Ricky's incredible. So Troy is kind of his multi-instrumental guy these days. And Troy plays a bunch of cool mandolin and fiddle on this one. And... check it out. It's my buddy Daryl Gallant on bass, Kirk
We
White on
love
drums.
Daryl. Yep.
Yeah, it's got to give everybody their flowers here. I think I'm singing a little harmony on this too. So River, Brian J. Dunn.
winding through green fields. Sometimes I'm soft and gentle, sometimes I'm filled with rage. Always moving forward, closer every day. And I will flow like a river to the sea. Yeah, I will flow like a river back to thee. Find my way, always moving forward, mountains in my way. Sometimes I lose direction, the rains fill the sky. Sometimes I feel so weak, the river all runs dry. And I will flow like a river to the sea. Yeah, I will flow like a river back to thee. Strong, I offer all I have to you. You carry me along. So come now, gather around me, where the river meets the sea. I know that you'll be waiting there for me. And I will flow like a river to the sea. Yeah, I will flow like a river back to thee. And I will flow like a river to the sea. Yeah, I will flow back to thee.
From 2014, that is Brian J. Dunn on isletunes with a track from his album Death Do Us Part. The song is River. I assume we're talking about Mississippi River since
I would think that sounds right.
kind of hung out there for a while.
Indeed, yes. It would make sense that, if not a literal reference, then I'm sure it probably got absorbed somehow into this song.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Still to come, from musical theater to recording a self-titled album, to brand new artists off of John Matthews' soundboard, and songs spanning the career of John Matthews himself. And you know what? We are going to mention once again, because, plug, the isletunes season finale live show happening at the Trailside June 23rd at 7 p.m. Oh my God, Richard Wood's going to be there, Scott Parsons, Karen Pyra, Nico Romero, Paula Arsenault, and Indigenous rapper Jay Diss, and he is fierce. They're all going to be there. I'm going to interview them in between, much like we've been doing with John over here.
Terrific.
And maybe if you're good, or maybe if you're not good, I might do one of my own songs as well.
Just saying,
okay?
I think Nico is one of the nicest guys on PEI.
Oh my God, isn't he though?
Nico's
oh my God,
awesome.
and he's so cool, and he's so talented, and he just wants to work with everybody.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
But he also does some of his own solo stuff outside of being in LaFunk and the Souche, and that's the stuff you're going to hear at this show.
Tremendous.
So get your tickets at trailside.ca or call up Back Alley Music 902-367-3311. I've posted QR codes on the isletunes Facebook page and Instagram. Anyway, come on out, see it, because what's most important to me, I wanted to do something to help bolster democracy, because I'm an American expat, and I'm sorry, but that is not the country I grew up in, and that's why I talk about it, because I don't want that shit to happen up here.
Uh-huh.
See, I said the first
You
cuss
said
word.
the first swear. Well
I
done.
got it. Yes. Swear jar number 1. And so, a portion of the proceeds is going to go to the Cooper Institute, and all the rest of it's going to go get split between the artists.
Wonderful.
And I'm just going to come away with the satisfaction of having done an episode.
Exactly. Job well done. Right.
So there you go. And John's got a ton of gigs coming up himself this summer, but a whole bunch of other artists are following his lead, and I'm going to tell you all about that here in Gigs to Dig across Prince Edward Island. Mike Stratton is making the rounds in the next little bit. June 19th and 26th, he's playing at Water's Edge. And June 20th and 25th, he's playing Next Door Lounge. Route 225 is also keeping things busy back-to-back at the Trailside. June 20th with Craig Fair, and June 21st with Alyssa Harper and Ben Aiken. Vishten and Louis Michaud have back-to-back shows as well. June 29th at the Harborfront Theater in Summerside, and June 30th at the Surrey Show Hall, of course, in Surrey. The Festival of Small Halls is taking over the island right about now. June 12th, it's the Shake and the Shingles kickoff at historic St. Mary's Church in Indian River. June 13th has Fiery Feet and Fiddle at St. John's Presbyterian Church in Belfast. Harmony at the Show Hall featuring Zhu Cheng Wang at Surrey Show Hall, and Stompin' the Night Away featuring the Keelan Wedge Band at Stompin' Tom Center in Skinner's Pond. June 14th, it's Tunes on the Tide featuring Cynthia McLeod at Brackley Beach Community Center. Les Fidèles du Fiddle featuring Goodell and Gammons and Nora at Stanley Bridge Hall. And Soul on the Shore featuring Logan Richard and Ben Aiken at the Watermark Theater in North Rustico. June 15th, it's Fields of Folk featuring Logan Richard, Ben Aiken, and Gammons and Nor at Milton Community Hall in Milton. And Celtic Collective featuring Jake Charon at the Benevolent Irish Society. June 16th sees Fiddler's Green featuring Richard Wood at Fort Augustus Recreation Center, and Songs and Stories of the Island featuring Shane Pendergast at the New London Community Complex. June 17th, it's New Traditions featuring Rowan Gallant at Cimbria Lions Club. Lively Fiddle at Home featuring Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys at O'Leary United Church. The 17th also sees Hometown Hoedown featuring In Echo and Shane Pendergast at Trackety Community Center, and Richard Wood and Friends featuring Luca Hall at Burnside Presbyterian Church in Clyde River. June 18th, it's Country sur le Cap at Mont Carmel. Parish Center, Songbirds and Sweethearts, featuring Catherine McClellan and Jake Charon at Crapo Community Hall. And the 18th wraps up with Sunset Session, featuring Ray Knorr at Orwell Historic Village. June 19th, we've got Catherine McClellan's Songhouse, featuring Joss Rayom at Zion Presbyterian Church in Charlottetown. Ode to Outlaws, featuring Lawrence Maxwell and Nudie at West Point Harborside Center. And Tunes with a View at Seaview Hall. June 20th, it's Celtic Kickoff, featuring Mockin at Scott Macaulay Performing Arts Center, of course, in Summerside. Also on the 20th, it's Songs and Strings, featuring Cynthia McLeod at Murray Harbor Community Center, and Fiddler Sons and Daughters, featuring Fiddler Sons at Tignish Parish Center. And the whole thing wraps up June 21st, a closing fit for Kings, featuring Joss Rayom and Kevin Chasen at King's Playhouse in Georgetown.
Hi, this is Don Ross, and I'm currently being held captive at the studio of isletunes. And in lieu of sending canned food, you can just keep listening and have a good time, and I'll just enjoy my captivity. Thanks for being here, and thanks for listening.
You are listening to isletunes, and I am sitting here with John Matthews in the Sound Mill, not the windmill, not General Mills.
No.
The Sound Mill.
Not the Puppy Mill.
Oh.
That's a different vibe altogether.
Oh, my God, yeah. Oh, the blades. But the Sound Mill, where he mills sound. Where did you come up with the name?
Well, it's just, you've been out here. You see the wonderful kind of treed-in kind of area I'm in here.
It's lovely.
I'm at the bottom of a little valley. A lot of birch trees. Like if you look out the window here, there's, because I'm in the country, I can have a window in my studio, which is great.
Oh, that's true.
And it looks out on these birch trees and so forth. And a lot of the design elements you can see in here are kind of the rustic, a lot of the natural wood.
A lot of wood paneling.
And stuff.
But real wood paneling, not like the 70s wood paneling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little slightly more modern. So it just sort of seemed like I was kind of milling a lot of wood to be out here building the studio. And I thought, well, carpenters mill wood to build things. I mill sound to build. It just sort of seemed like a good, bringing it back around kind of thing.
Does.
So it just kind of matched the vibe. And also, just not too far over here is the Mill Road.
Okay. You know what? I actually saw that coming up, and I thought maybe I was supposed to turn on it. Before my GPS led me astray.
I think that means I own the road now, too.
I think you do.
Since I
by
named
now,
my studio after
by
it.
now,
So,
it's been 15 years. I think you probably have dibs.
I think I own the road.
Probably have dibs. Just out of curiosity, when you say you built the studio, like, how much of it did you physically build yourself then, or did you have other people come in? I'm sure it must have been both, but I'm curious.
My carpentry skills are poor at best.
Oh, okay.
So what I did do is acoustically design it all. I do a lot of acoustic design work.
Nice.
That's a thing that I've done, and self-taught.
And that's a very specific.
It is. It's a deep
skill
topic to learn about.
Yeah.
And it's been a thing that I've been learning about ever since I started getting into recording. I knew that I wanted to eventually build a studio, so I kind of spent a lot of time teaching myself about room acoustics and a lot of long mathematical formulas for calculating frequency response. And just there's a lot that goes into that. So it's been an area of study for me, especially when I was building this studio. Like I said, it is built with the same design principles that they build the big studios on, just on a smaller scale. And I've since actually taken my acoustic knowledge and done some work for concert venues.
Cool.
I did the acoustic design for the Holland College garage. They have a rehearsal garage at Holland College where the bands practice. And so I did the acoustic design work for that. And so, a lot of little acoustic design projects have come out of the original work that I put in to design the sound mill. And then I hired a wonderful team of contractors and carpenters to come and actually do the work, and I just got to boss them around.
That's always fun.
My carpenter skills are fair at best, my friend. So,
well, your design skills are awesome. Because it's not just about sticking asbestos up on the wall or styrofoam or whatever the hell.
No, sir. No, you won't find any egg crates stuck on the wall here. Or
No,
no foam. None of that foam stuff.
None of that foam stuff.
No.
Just a lot of cool
The
lights.
The real deal.
And this place looks very professional to me.
Thank you, my friend.
And this is from somebody who spent a lot of time in L.A. So,
there you go.
So
you would
there
know.
is that. I would know. And you had said before that you, kind of annoyed your family by recording stuff, and that's part of the reason you ended up being here. But speaking of family, and not that we're going to get into Nepo babies here or anything, but he just happens to be related to you, so I cannot avoid that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I have to play some stuff that's like personally
of course,
meaningful
of
here
course
too.
you do.
So
Of course you do.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Aaron Hastelow,
Mhm.
and from Yorkshire.
originally the family's from Northern England. Yes, Yorkshire County.
Oh, England.
yeah, England.
I thought it was here.
No, Yorkshire in England, my friend, is where the family roots are. Aaron was
Oh,
born
I
here,
didn't
but his
know
family
that.
comes from Northern England. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
What I do know is that he was heavy into musical theater,
Big time.
big time. Jesus Christ Superstar,
Yep.
huge in that. Gilbert in Anne of Green Gables, the musical TM.
Classic. Yes.
However, I will have all y'all know that he was Gilbert in the workshop of the 9 Lives of Ellen Montgomery
Hey, there you go.
before he played Gilbert in the Confed Center.
yeah.
So who taught him Gilbert?
That's
Thank
right.
You.
It
Thank
was
you
you
very-
guys.
It was
Yeah.
us. Thank you very much.
It was you guys.
He also has done a ton of cabaret shows
Definitely.
and spending time between Toronto and PEI and
Mm-hmm.
now the UK, from what I understand.
Indeed.
But somewhere in the middle of all that, he decided to record an album. And who best to come to if you've got somebody in the family
Dear old dad.
who also happens to be hella talented, so it's not like, oh, hey, can you just record this for me? No, this sounds like a very special union here.
It was really cool. Yeah, like to get to work with, Aaron is my stepson, technically speaking. I call him my son. And so to see him sort of blossom and grow as a talent. And I mean, he's been, like you said, musical theater is his thing. He started out as one of the children of Avonlea in Anne of Green Gables, the musical TM, and then went on to do many, many roles with the festival over the years. He's done shows all across Canada, literally from one end of the country to the other. And he wanted to put together a little EP of songs. Basically, he wanted to choose some Canadian songs that he really enjoyed, songs by Canadian writers. So we picked out a number of those. We picked out a Joni Mitchell song. We've got a song written by Gordie Sampson from Cape Breton, who wrote Jesus Take the Wheel for Carrie Underwood. We've sort of spanned out. He did one of the show songs from Anne of Green Gables, the musical, that he did in the show, but we rearranged it so it's not musical theater anymore. It sounds more like a folk song.
Oh,
now.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, a song called Wonderin' from that
Oh, yes,
musical that
yes.
you may have heard, the big Gilbert number in the show. But we're going to play one here that is actually a song that I wrote.
Here we go. Love it.
Yeah, so this was from my second album called Don't Leave that I put out way back in 2000 something or other, 2007. And this was a song that I wrote based on one of my favorite books when I was a kid and to this day, which is a book called Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson.
I've heard of it.
The story of two young friends, two kids who are both kind of loners and outcasts, and they find one another in the course of this book and sort of, they bond together because they're both sort of outsiders and kind of weirdos, and they create this imaginary kingdom in which they are the king and queen. And so I love this book. I had reread the book and in like 45 minutes one Sunday afternoon and was in tears by the end of it, and grabbed the guitar and wrote the song in about 20 minutes that basically tells the story of the two main characters in the book. So the song is called Bridge.
Bridge. Weirdos Unite.
Weirdos Unite. And so I recorded the song, but what a pleasure to have my own kid want to record his own. That was his suggestion, by the way. I didn't push this on him. He was like, I want to do this. And I said, absolutely. So we recast it as a little bit of I listened to it again this afternoon. It's a bit of a James Taylor vibe, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Let me know what you think, folks. Take a listen here.
Take a listen. It's from 2017. It's from Aaron Hastelow's self-titled album, and it's here on iTunes.
How do I say goodbye when I barely even said hello? In the river deep and wide, where does one young heart forever go? You taught me everything I'll ever need. You taught me how to be strong. Now as I face the world alone, I know that I could do it all alone. I'll build a bridge to the other side to get us both across the deepest, wildest sea. I'll build a bridge our magic place, where kings and queens and princes aren't just fairy tale. And I'll find a way to take you with me wherever I may go. But we both know that it's time to carry on. Just a strange and quiet guy, till you came and let me see the real you. I'm glad you weren't so shy, even though they all misunderstood you too. I can't accept that you have left me now, but I can't ignore the bitter pain, though I shed these mournful tears. I know that someday we will meet again. I'll build a bridge to the other side, to get us both across the deepest, wildest sea. I'll build a bridge to our magic place, where kings and queens and princes aren't just fairy tale. And I'll find a way to take you with me wherever I may go. But we both know that it's time to carry on. We'll build a bridge to the other side, to get us both across the deepest, wildest sea. We'll build a bridge to our magic place, where kings and queens and princes aren't just fairy tale. And I'll find a way to take you with me wherever I may go. But we both know that it's time to carry on. Yes, I'll find a way to take you with me wherever I may go. But we both know that it's time to carry on.
Aaron Hasselow crossing the bridge over to isletunes from his self-titled album of 2017. Song written by the man I'm sitting next to right here, actually across from, just for the correct visual.
Exactly.
John Matthews.
Hello, hello.
John Matthews is here.
Yeah.
And
we are in the sound mill.
we are in the sound mill. And
Does it feel good to have somebody pushing all the buttons for you and
it
doing
actually
the
does.
microphones?
Yeah,
and
it's actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I'm struggling with is that usually everything I say is scripted.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I have like just notes I'm working off of here, and I'm like,
We're a little more free form
a
here
little more
tonight.
free form. Yeah, this is a special episode, and
is.
so it's as long as it is, and we're just going off the cuff.
I love it.
It's something a little different. I kind
how
of
I
like
roll.
it. I
Yeah.
kind of like it. I might have to do this more often.
I think you should.
I think I should. So the next artiste we are going to talk about here started off. Well, actually, okay. See, this is what I mean about going off the cuff. Okay, so what happened was in 2015, Andrew Waite put a band together called The Firm and started recording with them and obviously performing with them, and in 2018 decided to go solo, as one often does when one is in a group and wants to explore their own musical direction. And from what I understand, well, this album was called his most progressive work up until that point. It combines folk, rock, and pop, if I've got that right.
It's pretty fair, I would say, yeah.
And the album is Tremors, and You Shook It Out. See what I did there?
I see what you did.
See what I did there? We Quakin'. Not Quakers, just Quakin'.
Quakin'.
Quakin', quack. So tell us about Tremors and how that came about and what it was like to work with Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew is my brother. He's a close friend, close to your friend. He's become a close friend over the years. I first met Andrew when my pub band was playing at, I think it was the Old Dublin Pub in Charlottetown. My regular guitar player couldn't make the gig. And so I was asking around at that time. This would have been 10, 15 years ago. Who can I get? Who's a really good guitar player that could just drop in and like fill in my band? And our mutual friend Nick Gauthier said he couldn't do the gig either. He said, but I do know this young guy, Andrew Waite, who's an incredible guitar player. And Andrew would have been maybe 20 or 21 at the time. And so sight unseen, I said, okay, well, I need a guitar player, so give me his number and I'll call him. And so I booked him for these shows, these pub gigs that I had. And so he played in my band. And then we just kind of kept in touch and kept talking more and more. And he was in the middle of writing some songs. And so our relationship just kind of developed and flourished over time. He and I are the same in a lot of ways. We're different in some ways, but we're also the same in a lot of ways. And I always like to think of him as my younger brother, honestly. He's a tremendous human being. One of the most talented musicians, but also a music educator.
That's right. I was going to mention
the
that.
head of the pop performance program at Charlottetown Rural now, where he mentors high school students in performing pop music, and he also runs the incredibly successful Island Rock Camps.
Correct.
In the summer times, where he again gets to mentor kids from all over PEI, bring them all together, put them into bands, and make them get on stage and perform. Some of them, in some cases, haven't even picked up an instrument before. And Andrew and his wife Nikki have a way of coaxing these kids to, bring music to the people that they've literally maybe just started playing guitar a week before, and by the end of the week they're up rocking with a band on stage. So they are phenomenal human beings. Andrew is tremendous, and working on his material was definitely a signpost for me in terms of elevating. I think he pushed me really hard to elevate what I do. I think I like to think that I pushed him to elevate his side of things as well. And so this album was, again, a tremendous band effort by all the members of the band, and very, very strong songs. And I thought I would play something that rocks.
Yeah, we could use some of that.
Pretty hard.
Let's do it.
Yeah, check this bad boy out. This is called Out and Out.
On iTunes.
Start to what has now become of me and you. Come along, start the record, sing along, like you need the release to belong with me here in space. Say we open up a store, sell our lies and reap what's left, 'cause that's what business is for. All the money in the picture, find the framework, find the fiction we've been missing out on all along. Let's find it all in the light. I'll be the Bonnie to your Clyde. I believe in love and second starts, building up a house from only sticks and broken hearts. Find your courage, get the blueprints. On the fringe we might be tempted to cheat, but life's a gamble, all we've got. Let's find it all in the light. I'll be the Bonnie to your Clyde. I've been thinking that we've been on a drought, without a doubt. You know me now, and we've been down. thinking that we've been on a drought. Without a doubt, you know me now, and we've been down, but now it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out. Let's fight it all in the light. I'll be the body to your cry. I've been thinking that we've been on a drought. Without a doubt, you know me now, and we've been down, but now it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out.
You've just heard Out and Out from Andrew Waite on iTunes. That's from his 2018 album Tremors. From what I understand, he had a follow-up in 2021. And like John said before we started this out, he runs Island Rock Camps. They have over 100 students every year. And, you know, they're still registering.
They are. I think they still have a couple of spaces.
They still have some spaces.
I do sound for the concerts. The,
Really?
The
Oh, that's
end of the
cool.
week concerts when the kids perform.
Nice.
So one of my things I look forward to every year is working with Andrew and Nikki and all the kids on their weekending shows all summer.
So check out islandrockcamps.com and grab your spot while you still can.
Totally.
And then you're going to see this one over here.
I will be there.
John will be there. Just like he was there with this next artist. We're now going into the present day over here. Oh my God. Who wants to do that? But seriously. But when you've got artists like this to work with, the present day happenings don't matter as much.
That's right.
I understand that this artist is also from Emmyvale, Leah?
Oh, yeah. Just from over there. I'm pointing over there. She lives over there.
From that wall.
Correct. Yeah, just in that wall. Yeah.
Actually, one thing I noticed driving through here was Emmyvale seems to be a rather large area.
I like to refer to it as the Kingston, Emmyvale, North Wiltshire Regional Municipality.
Okay.
We were encompassing all the little...
You can refer to it that way. That made my head hurt. But
yeah. So Leah is also a family connection here. Leah is my niece.
Oh, okay.
And she has been working on songwriting since she was kind of in high school,
that's
I believe.
that's what I have, is she recorded some original Christmas songs.
Yeah, we did some Christmas tunes
Oh,
here.
you worked on that?
I did, yeah.
Nice,
so
to raise money for charity.
Yeah, she did a few Christmas singles. That was kind of her dipping her toe into songwriting. And so it was always her dream to put together a little EP or an album of her own material. So over the last year, she's been working away on that, working with a very talented keyboard player and producer by the name of Josh Petrie, who's an old pal of mine. I used to record a couple of bands, or a band that he was in. And so Josh worked with Leah a lot on the arrangements and the keyboard sounds, and sort of played a lot of the keyboard and synth stuff. So they would sort of do their bits and then take the songs to me, and then I kind of would polish them up, do the mixing and the mastering, and in some cases I'd play a little bass or play a little extra keyboard, or just kind of additional production is what I like to call it. But they're dandy little songs, and her vocals are, again, very radio friendly, very much in the style, well, you'll hear, very much in the style of like a Tate McRae, or I think Ariana Grande is a pretty big one for her too.
So we're going pop over here.
We're going pop. We're going to just totally switch it up. We're going to go pop on this one.
Nice. And from what I understand, she wrote, the album is After Dark, and she wrote the songs from it while still in high school, even though she's in her 20s now.
Some of the material, yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's just graduated from university. So it kind of chronicles, there's a few year time frame there, kind of chronicling her various experiences and relationships and all that sort of stuff.
The first single was Dangerous, but we're going to go into an album cut here.
Yeah.
Why?
Because we like to.
Because we can.
Yeah, because we can.
Because we can.
This is one that I like from the album.
So tell us about it.
It's just a lovely little song. It reminds me of maybe a little bit like a Taylor Swift song. It's a pretty emotional one. It's a little more of a ballad vibe than the other two. The other tunes are kind of, there's a lot of pop bangers on this little EP. This one's a little more of a ballad vibe.
It's called Where I'm At. Where are you at? You're on iTunes, baby.
At the Sound Mill.
Okay.
If you're wondering how I'm doing, I'm not great right now. I know what I wanna do, but I just don't know how. I'm getting tired of all the waiting for what I'm gonna find. Wonder what the future's holding. I got so much on my mind. Staying in my room all day, lying in my bed, obsessively crushing over guys that I can't have. Trying to tell myself it's not really that bad. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Playing guitar till my fingers start to turn red. Waiting for what I want to come to me instead. Stressing over the future that I might have. Yeah, that's where I'm at. 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 I don't understand these feelings that I get around you. Don't even know what you're saying, but I know it's not true. I never asked for what you gave me. Didn't want your love. You knew that I was fragile, so you broke my heart. Staying in my room all day, lying in my bed, obsessively crushing over guys that I can't have. Trying to tell myself it's not really that bad. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Playing guitar till my fingers start to turn red. Waiting for what I want to come to me instead. Stressing over the future that I might have. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Ooh. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Oh. If you're wondering how I'm doing, I'm not great right now.
Isletunes rolling along through the career of John Matthews. And you just heard Where I'm At. And where I'm at is in the Sound Mill in Emmyville, PEI, the recording haven of John Matthews.
Walls that I look at a lot.
I was going to say,
I
was
look at
going to
these
say,
walls a lot.
you are probably in this space more than you're in your house space.
I think so. Yeah, I spend the
Probably.
most of my time in this room.
But do you enjoy that?
I do, yeah. This is what I do, man. This is what I do, and it's a privilege, and I certainly don't take it lightly. When somebody comes and trusts me to take their music, and they come to me in some cases with music in their head, and they want to hear it come out of speakers, and it's my, they've entrusted me with the heavy, deep responsibility to try and make that happen, and I never quite know what's going to come through the door, and that's part of what I love. I like a lot of different styles of music, so I've worked in everything from rock to country to folk to rap to you name it. I mean, I've done just about every style and kind of music, which aligns with my own musical tastes. I like a lot of different things when it comes to music. So, yeah, no, I don't mind being in here, man. There's as I always like to say, this is not really work in some ways. We don't work music, we play music, and so I always find that's important. Going back to the artist psychology.
Yeah.
I always try to remind them, like, no, nobody's going to die here today. We're not doing any surgery. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, if something goes wrong, it's just whatever. It's a bit of music that went wrong, and at the end of the day, we're just playing. We're
Part of
playing
the
in here.
process,
That's what we
yeah.
do. We play in here. I had a good friend of mine, an artist who was in recently. She calls the studio Oz, and I am the wizard.
That works.
Yeah. She's
Except you're not hiding behind a curtain.
I know. I'm the real thing here. Yeah,
Actually, I
there's
don't even see any curtains in here.
not a curtain to be seen. Yeah, but no, she always calls it Coming to Oz, where wonderful things happen. The wonderful wizard is going to look after things in Oz.
We have to get you a cape now.
I guess so.
It's got to be it's got to be red probably because
maybe
it
to
probably match the decor and your shirt.
Yeah, totally. I'm a red plaid guy.
He's a red plaid guy.
A red plaid cape would be probably the ideal outfit for me.
When's your birthday again? We'll have to think about that.
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
It is coming up soon. And coming up even sooner is this new single. When was this out? Just like the last couple of weeks or something. C. Ruth and the Mango Street Trio.
Oh, yeah.
Separately, they're amazing enough. C. Ruth, he's from Nigeria, came here, was part of the Umbrella Collective, which won Music PI awards all over the place with their album Welcome to Studio UC. And they're all freaking amazing by themselves. But C. Ruth also recorded some solo tracks, and he's collaborated with other people. His style is kind of hip-hop alternative, we'll call it. Yeah. And then the Mango Street Trio, they just started up in 2024. Seems like they've been around a lot longer than that, but
I know.
But they, Yvonne Garnica, and I cannot remember the other two names.
We have Chris on bass.
Thank you.
We have Danica on drums.
Danica. Sorry, guys. I have this in an old script somewhere,
yes.
but it's not in front of me.
It's okay, I got your back.
You got my back, baby. And they all met in Holland College.
That's right, in the SOPA program where they probably would have jammed in that garage that I designed,
That's
I'm
right.
sure, many times.
That's right. See how it all ties together.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they've kind of got the kind of the rock stuff, but also Yvonne brings a Latin American influence to it. And again, separately, that's one thing. But now we got them all together. We got C. Ruth and the Mango Street Trio.
Yeah, so you got Mango Street bringing this kind of fusion jazz rock thing, and they are phenomenal on their own. And Yvonne is a wonderful singer and guitar player. And then I'm not exactly sure the origins of how they first got together with Charlie, but since they've been together now, they've been doing a lot of gigging as a unit.
Yeah.
And I got to see them. They do their own little festival thing called Mango Fest, which they just recently held the second Mango Fest just a couple of weeks ago. So myself and my son Simon got to go to the first Mango Fest. Simon actually was the one that said, hey, there's this cool festival happening at Beaconfield Carriage House. Dad, can you take me to Mango Fest?
Which is a great spot, by the way.
Amazing spot. So Simon and I went to Mango Fest, and we had just the best night. And I had not seen Mango Street Trio play live, and I'd certainly not seen them with Charles on rapping before. But the combination of these two, these two different things, they're different things, but you put it together, and somehow it works really well.
It does. You played me a bit before. It really works.
Charlie just elevates the energy in the room. He's got the big personality, the big smile, and he just really draws the crowd into his huge, huge energy on stage.
He's a force. He really is.
Yeah. He's a freestyler, a tremendous rapper, and a frontman. And then you got Mango Street Trio, who are all incredibly skilled instrumentalists, kind of, I'm not going to say backing him up, but like the combination of Charlie out front and them kind of laying it down and kind of letting him do his thing. It's a really special combination. And in my 20 years, you see some special things come sometimes. And I felt like they were a really special thing. And so I think coincidentally, they had emailed me not long after that first Mango Fest. When I was thinking about emailing them, I was thinking to myself, I'd love to work with those guys. They're really special. And then I actually got an email from them fortuitously a little ways after that. So it worked out really.
It was density.
It was my density. So I got to have Mango Street Trio and Charlie come out. We spent a bunch of days just tracking, very much trying to capture their live energy. So everything was done live off the floor. Charlie rapped with the band in the booth. We didn't have to change anything. Like, we kept everything he did was pretty well one take with the band. And so hopefully you get some of that live, that crackling energy that those guys have when they play live.
Now, is it going to be a whole album or just
5-song EP?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that counts.
Yep.
EPs are albums.
Yeah, exactly. So that's coming out a little later on this year. The second single will be out in a few weeks.
Okay, so this is the first single.
It is.
And it's called Off Monarch. And that makes sense because that totally sounds like something C. Ruth would write.
Absolutely.
Just knowing his repertoire. Oh my God. You guys, C. Ruth and the Mango Street Trio here on isletunes. off Monarch. Oh my God.
So good.
Mom passed, I was never in spoil. Root manifested, I would never recoil. Deep down through the soil, I protect my peace, and I'm not out for gimmicks. I'll be damned if I care about the fame. I look around, I see a lot of reasons to be free. I look around, I see a lot of reasons to be me. Charlie Root, I'll be moving like a whale in the sea, not a shark. Them haters want to love you, but they stab you in the back. Who's to blame? If a snake is acting like a snake, then it's natural. Got your piece of cake and serve it to yourself. People living in hell, you decided to be there. Receive the message, still acknowledge the messenger. I'm hoping to play my part before the vestibule dissolves. I show you love on the regular. Lot of ladies hit my cellular on the low, cause that's how we roll. A couple hours later, we head out to catch a show out in Venice. Oh, Belize. All of the locals, including private or police, they want to, what? They want to. I say like they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. I say like they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. I say that they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. I say that they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. Okay, I fly to a drive-by and I'm still sudden when I hit the highway. Charlie Root is full throttle. Let me show you confidence of a man that decided to live with a plan. Baby, I'll go to Japan, swearing I'm driving a van. Give me a second to light up smoke. Lately my appearance make the haters want to choke. I give them no mind, relax and give time to the lines that bring shine. Back in Nigeria, this little little man I remember was dim. Age 14, not a thing to sing. I lost my will, but I got it right back. Since I'm man, I repent, I'm calm. Ladies feel now, they want to. What they want to, tell them they want to. I say that they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. I say that they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. I say that they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. They want to. I say that they want to fight. They want to fight. They want to fight. Listen. Be like, wow, wow, Mango come around. One band power, they still on the crowd. Like, wow, wow, Mango come around. One band power, they still on the crowd. Like, wow, wow, Mango come around. One band power, they still on the crowd. Like, wow, wow, Mango come around. One band power, they still on the crowd. Pop, 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 pop. Tell them everything. Hot grabber. Everything.
And we are here on isletunes, and you have just heard C. Ruth and the Mango Street Trio coming together to do the song Off Monarch, which just came out as a single, and it's ahead of a second single, which John Matthews here said is coming out in a few weeks, and the album will be forthcoming after that album. I keep saying album, EP. I kind of consider them the same thing, but, you know.
Yeah, it works. Releases.
Releases.
That's the word that the ECMA likes to use now. It's the release of the year. It's not the album of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So it covers everything, right?
It covers everything. Yeah. The one thing we haven't covered so far, though, we've talked about, all these artists that you've produced, a lot of whom we've heard here in the last 6 hours or however long
we're up to now. It's been a while.
This is a special episode.
It is a very special.
It's a very special episode.
isletunes.
Very special isletunes. But we haven't talked about you.
All
that much.
I don't really like to talk about me that much.
Yeah, well, too bad because
It's not my favorite thing.
I know you could hit off over there, but we're not. You could, but we're not going to because inquiring minds need to know.
All right, let's make it all about me, Mike. All right,
which is a change because usually it's supposed to be all about me. So
yeah, right.
So
Thank you for generously turning it over to me for a few minutes.
We're going to turn it over to you for a few minutes. Longer than that, I don't know if I can handle. So you're from Cape Breton originally.
Sydney Mines, Cape Breton. Yeah, I moved here in 2002.
What brought you here?
It's a story about a girl. I met a girl, and that's what landed me over here. I was working full time in Nova Scotia and looking for a change. First of all, I'd been at a full-time job for a while there, and I'd done a lot of playing on PEI. I'd come over and performed a lot before I lived here. And so it just seemed like a good fit to make the move. And so I've been here ever since.
The girl is gone, but John is still here.
Exactly. Yes. Taking the best away from the situation.
Too
Yes,
bad for
I'm still
her.
here.
Lucky for us.
Thank you.
So, you've, from what I understand, I know this is just like a little teeny scratching the tip of the iceberg here. I just mix my metaphors, but it's my show. Lester Stubbert, you've played with, Jug in Hand, Muddy Buddy. Who else should we add to that list?
Gosh, I did a lot of years playing with Boys in the Kitchen, great East Coast PEI legends for quite a number of years, playing at all kinds of pubs and festivals and things. Did we mention Cynthia? Cynthia McLeod and I have toured quite extensively. A lot of the artists that I record, I end up kind of temporarily joining their band a lot of the time too, because what happens is the end of an album comes and I know all the material. So then they're like, would you come and play bass on the live show? And I go, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Absolutely. But yeah, I have a regular crew of folks that I work with right now, including Cynthia and Courtney. I do a lot of playing with as well. Todd McLean, a lot of people we've mentioned here. We do a lot of playing at corporate things and playing for groups from away, the summer Cayley scene, pubs, clubs, you name it, here, there, and everywhere. You pay, we play, that kind of deal. Musical.
Here, there, and everywhere. I get what you did.
Everywhere.
I see what you did. Because we got the Beatles staring down at us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a bit of a Beatles nut.
Just a little bit.
That works.
Totally works.
Yeah. So I love playing with other people. It's always fun to collaborate and see what can come of the different combinations. And I kind of thrive on that variety of doing. I play a lot of Celtic gigs, but then I also play solo acoustic things where I play no Celtic music and just play, old rock and folk covers from the 70s, 80s, 90s kind of thing. So I do a bit of everything. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's, again, my stock in trade in just about every aspect of my life, I feel like.
You had said before that the music you listen to is as varied as the music you produce.
Big time.
Obviously, we just covered the Beatles. Who else would you cite as your biggest influences?
My big ones would be, Beatles for sure. I'm a big Fleetwood Mac guy. On the Canadian side of things, Blue Rodeo, Bare Naked Ladies are big for me. I've been really big in the last bunch of years. There's a wonderful LA band called Dawes that I'm a really big fan of. And I've actually, the last couple of years, my major musical passion, I would say, is that what I like to say, I've fallen into a Joel hole. And that hole would be Billy Joel.
Oh, okay.
I have become I was always a fan of Billy Joel. Of course, I was aware of Billy Joel when I was a kid. I had got his greatest hits from Columbia House.
Yes.
10 CDs for a penny, right?
Oh, yes. Done it. And then never paid the rest of it.
And then never, ever pay them again.
Guilty.
And then move away and then can't find you anymore.
Totally guilty.
So, yeah, I always loved Billy Joel and the hits, whatever, when I was a kid. But the last few years, I've really taken a deep dive into Billy Joel in the 70s and 80s, especially in his live repertoire. That band was unbelievable, his band in the 70s and 80s. When they were playing all the time, firing on all cylinders, young and hungry. I would put them right up beside Springsteen's E Street Band or any other live act from that era or this era today for being just absolutely electrifying live performers. And Billy was flawless on the vocals. And, back in those days, he was all over the stage, man. He's jumping off pianos and doing somersaults and flips, and he's got mic stands out in front working the crowd, and he's running from this end of the arena to that side of the stage, and he's up and down and all over the place. If you have not seen Billy Joel perform live in the 70s and 80s, go look up some stuff on YouTube. It's really tremendous.
Kind of like proto Benson Boone.
A little, maybe. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we're same thing. Yeah, we're talking flips and all kinds of just general stage antics. But on top of that, some really, really top-notch songs. Billy Joel's songs, especially if you take the deep dive and get into some of the deeper cuts, there is a wealth of dazzling material to be discovered. If you've never gone down the Joel hole, I'm here to recommend. Take a deep dive into Billy Joel, please.
Nice.
Yeah.
And not from Columbia Records either.
Exactly.
So you've kind of somewhere in the middle of all this, in between producing or contributing to 300 plus albums, gotten some of your own stuff recorded. here at
Yeah,
some
a little
point.
bit. I always say, like, I am due for another album. It's been 20 years since I did my last
I was
one.
gonna
For
say,
me, my
when was
own
wow.
solo album. So
It's time.
It's very much time. If only I knew somebody with a recording studio.
Gee, I don't know.
The big problem with me, and this is my excuse I always make, is that I spend so much time working on other people's music that, when the end of the week comes or the Sunday or whatever it is, whenever I would have free time, what I want to do is go hang out with my kids or play video games or read a book or, recharge creatively. And
because producing other people's stuff is still creative energy
it is
coming out.
It's still me putting together arrangements and writing string parts and horn parts and doing all the things that I'd be doing if I were making an album for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I do it for other people.
And mixing and
mastering, all those things. So it's, like I'm flexing those creative muscles, even though I'm not making my own solo albums. I'm flexing all of those playing muscles and arranging and producing. All those muscles get flexed on other people's projects. And so I find, unfortunately, because you can't do it all. There's only so many hours in a day.
You gotta have to tell me.
Yeah, what has suffered over the years has been my own music has taken a bit of a back burner, a little bit. But, for a few years there, I had a good buddy of mine, Rob Wagner, who I worked with in radio in Nova Scotia, and he was really good at inspiring me because he's a wonderful songwriter, and so he would always be showing me his songs, and I'd want to have songs to show him. So that's what kind of initially gave me the push to kind of keep growing as a songwriter, was it's kind of the John and Paul Beatle thing where they try to one-up one another almost,
Oh, there you go.
And so, so I back in the day, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was doing a fair bit of songwriting. I haven't done as much in recent years. I have, if you were to open the voicemail app on my phone, for example, you would probably find a few hundred little voice memos of little song ideas or verses and choruses that need finishing. And my notepad app on my phone is full of little ideas. So I have lots of stuff that I have to sift through, I guess is the idea there. I need to spend some time sifting, but I also need to be not worried about 10 other things that have to be done when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So I keep saying, what I want to do is rent a cottage on the North Shore or something for a couple of weeks sometime and just go off, take all my little notes and a whiteboard so I can plot it all out and just kind of assemble it all and finish stuff and just sort of get a little bit of a project together. But
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because not only have you flexed your muscles working for all these other people for the last 2 decades, you've also built up those muscles. And so it'll be interesting to see now what you can apply to your own music.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been 20 years since the last record. I've made 2 of my own. The first one we don't talk about. The second one is pretty good. I think when I go back and listen to it now, of course, you always think of the things you do different, not so much the things that are, that are good about it or that you like about it. But it is time for another one, and I think maybe the 20-year thing is a good.
I like
it's a
that.
good time to try to maybe get me back into
kind of retrospective. Maybe this episode will help you.
Maybe it will
get into some
maybe
of that.
It will.
Now, why don't we talk about that first record?
Well, it's that classic thing. I was in my early 20s, just learning how to do this. I was learning how to be a producer. I was learning how to work in the studio. I was learning how to write songs. So I look at it and I'm not going to say I'm embarrassed of it, but I just think that it's not representative of what I do now or who I am now, which I think is the case for a lot of us when we're in our early 20s. We're a different human back then. And so I do look, I have a certain nostalgic feeling about that album, and I love the people that I made it with in this little rural community in Cape Breton. But I think for the good of all of us, it's probably best left buried for the time being. I do have the tracks here, and I've started remixing it. And so I thought, if I could get it remixed, maybe I would consider letting people hear it again. But yeah, it was a great start, but I think that it's for the best that it just sort of remain a rarity.
Well, we'll skip that album, but I do think there's something to be said for giving that version of yourself proper credit. Because
I need to learn to be gentle on myself.
You knew you did what you did back then. That was where you were. Yeah. John and I were talking about this before. I started recording my own songs in 1988, and they're not very good. My voice is certainly not very good. I had a little cheap-ass Radio Shack keyboard. I had a double cassette recorder. so I could multi-track
Yeah.
with that. So
See, we all start somewhere,
so
right?
each
It's
generation got progressively worse.
progressively, where I did that too back in the day with my
And-
little ghetto blaster.
And my voice was like, I had no idea how to breathe, and I was terrified of my voice cracking. So I sang down the octave, so everything sounds like this.
down there.
It's like it's really kind of awful.
But no, it's good to give each other. Yeah, you need to like give yourself a break.
Yeah,
think,
I was
with
gonna
some of
say.
that
I was
stuff.
gonna say. There's still some good stuff in those early recordings of mine.
Oh yeah, I like some of the
Yeah.
songs and stuff too, and there's some cool parts. And like I said, if I can get it remixed, I'm definitely a little conscious about the vocal performances for sure.
I know that
I
feeling.
sound little, and so that's a bit of a barrier for me. But yeah, maybe someday we'll see. We'll see.
Could be a special disc.
We'll see. There might be one song.
Greatest
that I
hits album.
There might be one if you search
few-
the internet that you
Yeah,
could find.
maybe a few tracks you could put on a greatest hits or something.
Maybe, yeah, in the right circumstances.
In the right circumstances. I'm going to work on them on this.
Yeah, all right.
But for now, we'll give him a false sense of security and move on to the album that he really considers his first album.
Sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of, from 2006.
20 years ago.
Isn't
Hard
that?
to believe.
Oh my God, that makes my head hurt too.
It does, yeah.
So the album is called "Don't Leave."
It is.
My God, what all went into this?
Well, this was me with my little studio set up in my home in Charlottetown, and I was still kind of doing a fair bit of songwriting at the time, and I think the goal of this was to kind of represent all my different musical styles that I'm into. So you'll hear there's a little Celtic section in the middle, but there's also like some sort of pop rock folky kind of sound and stuff. It's very acoustic guitar driven, I'm going to say. A lot of contributions from friends, people that I play with, and also folks from far away. I had the wonderful Kim Deschamps play pedal steel. He's the original pedal steel player from Blue Rodeo. So there's a tune that he plays pedal steel on, and a lot of great collaborations. And yes, very stylistically diverse, I would say, possibly to its detriment, but
Or not.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, it was a cool one to make, and it was my first album that I made kind of on my own in my own space, as opposed to going somewhere else.
Yeah, and
So I got to
think
pick at it a little more and spend a little more time on it.
Oh, sure. And there's
Yeah.
a certain safety when it's
There
your own
is.
space like
There
that.
is, yeah.
So, of all the tracks in the different genres and styles that they are, which one are we picking and why?
Gonna go with, I had a look at them all this afternoon. Gonna go with the leadoff track called Don't Leave.
Oh, title track.
Title track of the record. And this is one that I enjoy. If I mentioned Bare Naked Ladies earlier, I think you'll find a lot of one of the former singers in that band, Stephen Page, who I've actually had the chance to play with on stage before.
Oh, that's
which was
cool.
a cool chance to get on stage with a hero of mine, which was amazing.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
Doesn't happen often. So you'll hear a lot of maybe Stephen Page influence in this track. There's a little bit of you'll also hear in the track my affinity for Casio keyboards because the track starts with a little Casio drum rhythm. So it's kind
perfect.
of built around Casio keyboards off the top, and it's a very acoustic guitar driven, very Stephen Page, Bare Naked Ladies-y vocal, and it's a song about. I think the song reflects on the changes that happen in a relationship where in the beginning things are easy, and then as time goes on it's less so. Things become more complicated interpersonally.
That's usually how
speaking.
that works. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a little more complicated, and so I think this song was about me searching for ways to try and make the relationship work. And so it's kind of the story of this song is, okay, I know that we have problems with this, and this, but don't leave. Stick around, and maybe we'll be able to find a way to make it work. That was the thought at the time.
That was a thought at the time. That's the thought of this time. And we're going to make this work. We're going to do a John Matthews twofer.
Oh, yeah, rock block.
Oh, yes, rock block, baby, because we're both radio geeks.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. So, yes, this is John Matthews, the man we've been talking to for the last 18 hours. 18-hour broads, lifts, and supports. This is called Don't Leave, which probably people are telling me to leave right now. So, Don't Leave on iTunes, and this is an
iTunes Rock Block.
Tell me, will anything ever change someday? It's an unending circle, and on it goes. We build a bridge and then we watch it burning. We want the same things, but we end up yearning. Day after day we keep the table turning. Let me off. Take me back to the place where we knew what love was, we knew how to get there. When all that mattered was to be together, or so it seemed. Sometimes I grieve, but I still believe. So please don't leave. I know it's easy as just to close the door, shut all the curtains and turn out all the lights. And when I come knocking, you can't pretend you're gone. But I'll still be here though the sky is raining. And if I have to, I will keep explaining till there's nothing but our love remaining. I can't wait. Take me back to the place where we knew what love was, we knew how to get there. When all that mattered was to be together, or so it seemed. Sometimes I grieve, but I still believe. So please don't leave. Mistakes we made, I know we both regret them. They'll wedge a wall between us if we let them. These thoughts are deafening, the silent screaming. And I keep hoping that I'm only dreaming. I know it seems the best to cut our losses, jump off the sinking ship, throw down these crosses. But I can't face the thought of life without you, losing everything I love about you. So take me back to the place where we knew what love was, we knew how to get there. When all that mattered was to be together, or so it seemed. Sometimes I grieve, but I still believe. So please don't leave. Oh, so please don't leave. The music there, it met the sea. I found myself calling to thee. If heaven sounds like bluegrass songs, I know for sure it's where I belong. Come take my hand, dear Lord, with thee, so I can hear those melodies. It cleansed my heart, it cleansed my mind, it cleansed my soul on that cool night. I saw the light
cool night. I saw the light. I sang along. Yes, I believe in bluegrass songs. Take it. The stage is now dark, the music still. I found myself seeking His will. If heaven sounds like bluegrass songs, I know for sure it's where I belong. Come save me now, dear Lord, in Thee, so I can hold these memories. It cleansed my heart, it cleansed my mind, it cleansed my soul on that cool night. I saw the light, I sang along. Yes, I believe in bluegrass songs. Yes, I believe in bluegrass songs. Yes, I believe in bluegrass songs.
iTunes double feature in the form of an iTunes rock block. That is also John Matthews, and one of his most recent recordings. He's actually as a guest vocalist, sort
Guest
of
singer, but lead
guest
vocalist.
singer, lead
Yeah,
vocalist.
So I didn't write that last one.
That's right. It's called I Believe in Bluegrass Songs. It's from an album put together by Cindy Penny I can't talk. You say it.
Okay, third time's a charm. Cindy
Penny
Van
Vanest. There we go. Sorry, Cindy.
There we are.
Yes. And she put together an album. It's all songs that she wrote.
Yes.
But she wanted other vocalists.
She wanted other people to sing them. Yeah.
Other people to sing them, and you were one of them. So is Maxine McLennan.
Yep.
And I
Lawrence
can't.
Maxwell.
Oh, yes, that's
and
right.
Kira Lone and Joey Kitson of Rollins Cross
That's
fame.
right.
Brian J. Dunn is on there doing one.
See how it all ties together?
Yeah, right. It's all coming together. So we cast lead vocalists for all the different songs. So these songs are songs that Cindy has written that sort of tell the story of her family. Her dad was a musician. Her and her dad would get together and jam a lot, and so some of these songs were born around that time. Some other songs kind of chronicle her developing a love for country and bluegrass music. She loves to travel, her and her husband, and go to festivals, especially bluegrass festivals and things like that.
And spend time in Nashville.
Spent some time in Nashville, spent some time in places like Maine where they have a really big bluegrass scene. And so, yeah, the album kind of tells her passion for music and a little bit about her family history as well. And all very sort of deeply meaningful songs for her. And she is a writer, but she doesn't really consider herself a singer. So yeah, so we brought in singers, and so it was a great pleasure and for me to be able to sing that last one. I Believe in Bluegrass Songs.
How did you end up singing on it?
She asked me to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she specifically said, I can hear you singing this one. And I said I would be happy to give it a shot.
See, so we've got some brand new John Matthews.
Exactly.
After
We're
all.
spanning the 20 years.
He's kind of, we're spanning the 20 years, kind of bookending his recording career.
I'm really pleased with the vocal on that song. I thought it came together pretty good. And I'm pretty hard on myself. So that's a big statement for me.
It's very, very important. So before we wrap this up here, because
it's now 5 a.m.
It's now 5 a.m.
Time to go to bed now.
And some of y'all have to get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
But including John. But all the time in the studio that you've spent, the gazillion hours, what would you say your most memorable experience has been?
Oh man, it's just I just think of all the little flashes. Like I have all these little flashes. I have had a lot of great experiences doing live recordings where I've taken gear out on the road and done recorded live concerts, play people like the Amanda Jackson Band, and I've done some live stuff with Andrew Wade and Cynthia McLeod and Fiddler's Sons. I did a big project a few years ago during the pandemic times called the Drive-In Festival, which is we went out and recorded 40 different PEI artists in venues all over the island in the middle of COVID. With everybody masked up and everything else, recorded video and audio, put it all together and made these virtual concerts that we then showed in drive-in movie theaters all over PEI to try and bring people together during the pandemic when everybody was isolated. So that was a really special thing. Like we're, again, in a week recording 40 different artists, in 5 different venues.
That
all
needs
over
to
the
be on
island.
a DVD or something.
It's on YouTube. You
Oh,
can
it is
check
on-
it out. Yeah, check
okay.
it out. PEI Drive-In Festival on YouTube. It's all there, and a
Nice.
real who's who of island artists. So that kind of thing
That's a big one.
is a big one for me. Working on the Special Island Christmas compilation, which is
yes.
10 or 12 different PEI artists doing Christmas tunes. That was a benefit for Special Olympics. That was a really special one to work on.
I have that album.
Yep, it's a good
I
one.
found it in Bibles for Missions or something.
I love it. I love it. It's a lot of people's Christmas tradition to break that one out. Myself too. Let's see what else over the years. I had a chance to work with Paul Mills, who's a legendary Canadian music producer, best known for recording Stan Rogers, the very well-known Canadian folk singer. And I'm a big Stan Rogers fan, so to have Paul Mills come into my studio and to be able to work with him a little bit on one of his projects was really special.
That's amazing.
Being such a big fan of the recordings that he's done over the years. So that was a really, really big one for me. Having Joey Kitson come in and do, speaking of Stan, we did an album of Stan Rogers songs that
That's
Joey Kitson
right.
sang.
That's right. It's called
And
Stan.
It is called Stan. And so for to hear Joey, who I was a big fan of Rollins Cross for years, as we all are. And so I remember that day, the first day working with Joey on his album, having his voice in my headphones. This was around 2007. And having Joey in and all of a sudden hearing that iconic voice in my headphones in my studio was a pretty sweet moment. Like, hey, I think I've arrived. Like, I got Joey Kitson in my studio. This is cool.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, there's so many of those wonderful little snapshot moments over the years.
And a lot
that
more
I've
to
been-
come, I would think.
I hope so. Yeah, I've been very lucky to be a part of a lot of really, really cool musical projects. And, yeah, more memories to come, as they say.
Absolutely. And now I do have to flip it for a moment. We won't end it on this, but lots of stuff goes wrong in studios every day. And also, you run across sometimes people that aren't as much fun to work with. Now, I'm not going to ask you to name names because it's not about, cause it's
Not that kind of show
it's
yet.
not that kind of show yet. But what were some of your worst experiences at recording?
I've been pretty lucky. I think in this business, sometimes and I'm not going to say I've been immune to it, but like I think in any aspect of the music business, you do meet people who are less than, shall we say, above the level, or have, not the best of intentions sometimes, or are kind of difficult, or, sometimes there's a bit of ego that can get into things, especially in anything to do with the entertainment business, really. Now, like I said, I've mostly been pretty lucky. I really have no complaints. I always get asked, like, have there ever been albums where you've just like thought this is terrible and hated every minute of working on it? And I always say no. Like, even if it's not a style of music that I'm not personally in love with, I can always find something that I like in what I'm doing. And so, yeah, it's never, again, at the end of the day, I'm not digging ditches or working in a gravel mine or anything like that. Like, at the end of the day, we're doing music, and that's a beautiful thing. And so really I'd be hard pressed to complain. And honestly, in the studio, talking about when things go wrong, that's almost better sometimes because sometimes happy accidents are the kinds of things that you can't plan for.
That's right.
Or recreate later, or you can't manufacture them.
Yes,
You know, sometimes
I've
an
had that
accident
happen
will
too.
happen where
Yeah.
somebody will play something that they did not intend to play, or sing something that they did not have any intention of singing, and that ends up being, it's like, oh, we're going to keep that. Keep that. That's cool. Because you'll never get that little happy mistake again. Right?
I've had
It's
that
a
happen
unique
in
thing.
video editing too.
Totally,
where it was
yeah,
like,
you gotta-
I don't know how I did that effect, but okay.
Yeah, you need to. I always tell people when they're coming into the studio, rehearse enough so that you know what you're doing, but not so much that it becomes robotic. So you want to know sort of what you're doing, but you also want it to be just dangerous enough that something crazy could happen, and it might be really cool
To leave that room,
to leave
for
that
it.
space
Yeah.
for the magic to happen, or the unexpected. Right? So
Yeah.
it's riding that line. Again, back to the psychology of it thing. It's riding that line between preparation, but also looseness and being open to the whatever happens. Like maybe something cooler will happen than what I planned for, and being open to that. Right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's important too, and
Yeah.
and I think too, as an artist, that can be a hard place to get to sometimes because you want
It's hard to let go of that initial idea maybe that you had in your head, that initial, well, that's not what I was planning. Okay, but maybe this is cooler.
Yeah.
And to be open to that, I think is
Yeah, it
a
takes a little
beautiful
bit of
thing.
learning to get there, but when you do,
If you can get there, it's a sweet place to be.
yeah, and I actually have had that happen a few times.
Yeah.
So my God, this long career of yours, this very long episode.
This
Just
is
kidding.
your life.
So, last question.
Yeah.
My goodness, what do you still want to do? Whether it's in recording somebody else's album or your own stuff, or not musically related at all.
What do I want to do? Oh my gosh, Mike, we're going deep here. We're going deep.
If you've made it to the end of this episode,
Yeah, I've always wanted to rent a motorcycle and drive the Pacific Coast Highway. That's a
Ooh.
thing I've always wanted
Have
to
you
do.
ever ridden a motorcycle?
I am a motorcyclist.
I did not know that.
I have not biked in many years. I've not had a bike in a while. But I am a licensed motorcyclist, and so I could hop on a two-wheeler anytime and hit the road. So I would love to do the Pacific Coast Highway on a motorcycle.
That would be a cool trip.
Cool. There's probably lots of travel-related things that I would really like to do. I would honestly, again, like I would never have imagined in a million years that this would be my grown-up job. Is coming in here and messing with guitars and keyboards and stuff, and doing the things that I did when I was basically 6 years old, and then again in my teenage years and 20s as a recreational thing, that I get to do it for a job.
Yeah.
So I really I don't know what I just want to keep doing cool stuff. Every time I have an artist in, I want to make something that's as cool or cooler than what I've already made, or push myself in new ways to learn new techniques of recording, try new microphone techniques, or new equipment ideas, or just be open to those different things as well, like to not get locked into a routine so much.
To
right?
keep
So
yourself open.
keeping things again, back to the keeping things open, keeping things fresh. So yeah, I think what I want to be able to do is continue to still bring the enthusiasm every day, and just be open to constantly trying to grow and learn, and just always try to one up myself, just try and do better, and also to keep discovering cool new music, because as you know, we're such a fertile land here on PEI.
It's amazing, really. I mean,
for the square footage. You
right?
know what I mean?
I
Like
had no
per
idea.
capita.
Yeah, I had no idea when I first started doing this show 3 years
Yeah.
ago that the music scene here was so, not only so large, but so diverse and so layered, and
Very
it's,
rich tapestry here. Yeah.
and
so-
it's almost like the island's best kept secret.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a
Well, when
way.
I run into somebody like Mango Street Trio and
Yeah.
see Ruth, it's like, again, going back to when I first had Megan Blanchard roll into the studio, or any of the other younger artists. It's like, I love that discovery thing of having my brains blown out by these incredible talents, and that's never going to get old for me. So I'm always on the lookout. If you're listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, I'm really talented and I should have an album, please come and find me, because I absolutely thrive on discovering new, young, wonderfully talented people. Or
And
older,
I was gonna
wonderfully
say-
talented people. I don't even want to be ageist about it, because maybe there's somebody in their 80s right now that's never made an album but has unbelievable songs. So generally speaking, if you think you have the talent, maybe you do. And so you need to come and find somebody like me, and we can make cool stuff.
johnmatthews.net?
Yeah, the soundmill.ca,
There you go.
johnmatthews.net. Best bet might even be to find me on like a Facebook or an Instagram.
Those
You
are
can
good.
check out pictures of the studio and kind of a bunch of examples of the work that I've done, and I try and keep things up to date there on what I'm up to. So yeah, search me out on the socials. Like I said, the websites always work as well.
And you can work with these great microphones,
Absolutely.
which give bass to my voice that
Apparently so,
I
yes.
never knew existed.
It's a whole new
I'm
world.
56 and I'm still waiting for my voice to change. So
Today's that day, Mike.
today's that day. But you were saying about how artists discovering themselves even when they're older. One of the
Yeah.
artists that did that was Karen Pyro. She started recording at 55, and she's a part of Aging Disgracefully, and most of
Love
what
it.
she does tackles ageism. And you know
Yeah.
where I'm going with this,
I
John?
do, I do. I like it.
You do.
I like
and
it.
Karen Pyra is just one of 6 artists who are going to be playing the isletunes season finale live show at the Trailside Tuesday, June 23rd at 7 p.m. So there's plenty of time for you to see the show and then get home and get to bed in time so you can get to work the next day and not have to stress out about not getting enough sleep.
Terrific.
But if you can sleep after seeing Karen and Richard Wood, oh my God, just that he's even doing this show, I don't get stage struck that often, but I'm just like floored. Jay Diss, he's an awesome indigenous rapper. He's got some really fierce stuff going on. We got Nico Romero, we were talking about before. He's in La Funk and the Souche. He's going to do some of his solo stuff. Paula Arsenault, she's going to do some French stuff for us. She's going to be playing along with Brent Chasen. Actually, Brent is also going to be backing up Richard Wood. Luca Hall is going to be backing up Karen Pyra. And then Scott Parsons is bringing 3 others with them. M. Peters is one of them. Paul Broadbent.
Yep.
Sean Mooney, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be
Sounds
coming
about
in.
right.
Who did I miss here? I got Scott.
I've been playing with Luca Hall since he was like 10, like a little
Yeah.
kid. Little kid. We used to play for like tourists coming into the Delta Hotel for like corporate, conventions and that kind of thing. And now he's out there killing it. He's not a little kid anymore.
He's blowed up.
Yeah.
He's blowed up.
Yeah, he's rocking it.
So he's going to be on stage there too. I haven't really mentioned our backup performers, but they're just as important.
They're all there,
And
yeah.
they're all going to be at the Trailside June 23rd, along with me, Adam Michael James, and I will be interviewing the main artists in between. And we're going to maybe do a song on my own, maybe 2 if I can,
Just saying
if I can get up the nerve. And a portion of the proceeds will go to the Cooper Institute, which advocates for human rights and democracy here on the island. They've been around since 1984, which
Who
is
knew?
pretty freaking amazing.
That is
talk
awesome.
about one of the island's best kept secrets.
Love it.
And the rest of the fundage will go to the artists as honorariums. Trailside's been really cool about kind of letting us. I mean, it's not free, but it's a favor. So
you got a deal.
we got such a
Yeah,
deal.
You got a deal.
Such a deal. So
Yep.
come on to the Trailside, see this show. It's going to be freaking amazing. June 23rd, trailside.ca or call 902-367-3311. That is Back Alley Music. And oh my God, I think that's it. John.
Did we get to the end? We got to the
to
end.
the end.
20 years. It
20
flew by.
Yeah, it took 20 years to get
In
there.
one
but
evening
in one
here.
evening.
Yeah.
Not bad. John Matthews Retrospective, if you will. And we've been talking about doing this for a while. And, every time I hang out with you, I just want to hang out with you more.
I know, man. I share the love. I enjoy our time together immensely.
So, we'll have to do that. I was going to say off camera. We're not
Yeah.
filming. But
Some social hangs.
Some social hangs. We'll do
Yes.
that. And it's just, thank you so much
thank you.
for taking this time and
Appreciate it.
and doing this very special episode. I mean, I say,
Pure pleasure.
we
my
kind of
friend.
make fun of. It's a very special episode, but
It kind of is.
kind of like
a little bit.
in the 80s.
It is for me. Like, again, thank you for the opportunity. It's been awesome to be able to, oftentimes we're so busy with doing the work that we don't get the chance to slow down and like appreciate everything we've done. And so for me, having a couple of days today to think about all the years and the work and go back and revisit some of these recordings, it's been a real gift that you've given me. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really feel that the gift is mine. And, next episode, it's really going to be hard to beat this one. really, especially for sheer time. But,
Exactly.
But as it will be the I knew I was going to screw that up, the penultimate show before the season finale, we're going to take a look back over a different era that is season 3 of Isletunes. We're going to go back to the beginning in October with interviews, and that's going to be a fun capper to this era of Isletunes, and it's also a slightly lazy one on my end, doing a recap show, but hey, I'm up to my getting ready for the live season finale.
So this is your Star Trek The Next Generation Shades of Grey end of season 2
yes
recap show.
Yes, but at least that one did have shirtless Riker
It
lying
did.
down with a shiny blanket. So
yeah, and
that's,
some sort of a device attached to his head, if I recall.
can live with that.
I thought you might.
And it was the last episode with Dr. Pulaski.
It sure was.
So it wasn't.
Again,
so that was the best part of it. I
the
mean,
the nerd flags are flying.
yeah, the
once
rest of
again
it
here.
totally sucked.
It was terrible. Yeah.
But yeah, so oh my god, so that's what we're gonna do for next week, in kind of leading up to the season finale show. Musical contribution to the Isletunes theme by Kaylin McCauley and John Hashem. Show concept by Rocky O'Neill. Coordination assistance by Jackie Robichaux. I'm Adam Michael James, and this is John Matthews.
Farewell. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening.
And that does it for another installment of Isletunes, episode 126, if you can believe that. And again, kind of going back to the through line of all of this, is the words of Dutch diplomat Gijs de Vries, who says, ultimately, freedom and democracy are stronger than fear and tyranny.
Power to the people, my friends.
Power to the people, baby. You know it. Thanks for listening, PEI. C is in 7. Thank you, John.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
This has been cool.
Anytime.